You. Yeah, you. Just to let you know before we begin, When the Stars Fell is a Dungeons & Dragons podcast for adults, and contains some less than savory language. Even though it takes place in a make-believe world, listener discretion is advised. Thank you.
It's a dark night. The stars are very visible. The clouds are spotted around, and the moon is shining really brightly. You five, our friend Charlie, who's going to be played by Ray, our friend Groff, who's going to be played by Braden, and our friend Sodanai, who's going to be played by Molly, as well as Hiom, played by Alexis, and Vadir. If you guys don't remember these names, not important, but you guys are...
I will never forget Hiom.
Was that... was that Vadir?
Vadir.
Okay.
Vadir.
Groff. Is that with an F or a TH?
2 Fs.
2 Fs.
We just find out that Jacob just didn't like our characters, so he just decided to make all new ones for us.
Yeah, I just didn't. I was like, nah.
Damn.
You guys need to play some of these people.
That's a power play.
But as you guys are here in the night, you all are sitting around the light glow and warmth of a campfire. There are crickets in the background.
Glow warmth from a campfire.
Continue, Jacob.
And so you guys are sitting here around the campfire. There's a nice breeze at your backs from the contrasts, the heat. And you guys are sitting with Torbeck, who is about a medium-sized human. Seems to be pretty old. He's definitely got a grayer beard, but still quite well-built and strong.
Would you say he's in his mid-50s, Jacob?
I would say so. He's seen a lot. He's got a lot of scars on his face. And him, like the rest of you. Did you say weed marshmallows?
Are we eating marshmallows at the campfire?
No, actually you're not, because you all are here for a very...
Whose job was it to bring the marshmallows? Because that was very important.
I
What the hell, Charles?
Can I roll for marshmallows?
Oh my gosh.
I know it's very important to Vadir's character to he always has marshmallows.
He rolls for marshmallows.
All right, y'all are popping marshmallows as you're sitting around the campfire.
Okay.
No, but we didn't even roll for it. This is not
I
D&D.
got a few marshmallows.
I am not gonna let the first roll of the campaign to be on whether or not you get marshmallows. I'm sorry, I don't know if I can do that.
I roll for you on the first roll of the campaign for
You know what?
marshmallows.
Respect the reverence you give the game.
Since it's Vadir's intimate backstory that I didn't even know, Vadir, give me a D20 roll to see how many marshmallows you guys have.
That's a solid 6.
So y'all got 6 marshmallows, which is perfect. One for each of you.
Okay.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Vadir comes in clutch.
He does. He does.
I'm willing to see if I burn my marshmallow.
First notes of the campaign: Vadir clutches marshmallow.
Yes. To see if I burn my marshmallow.
Vadir didn't understand the assignment and just ate it.
Perfect. So Vadir's already eaten his marshmallow. Okay, so is that an 18?
Yes.
Good job.
I got a +2 on top of that.
Okay, so your marshmallow is like it's golden perfection. Like there's very few marshmallows that could compare amongst these 6 marshmallows because you're just doing really well.
Oh, Jacob.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I rolled a 2.
And then you look over, and as you're looking at your nice golden marshmallow, you look over at Sadanai's, and hers is just what marshmallow? I didn't see the. Where's the marshmallow? Oh, it's there. It's just very dark. It's very charred. Very charred.
I just assumed that it was in the fire. She just doesn't get to have a marshmallow.
You just see like a single tear go down my face.
Split my marshmallow with you.
All half dressed in your guard armor. You start to look around, and you can see that you are in the middle of a camp. And not just any camp. This is the 157th Battalion's camp. And you...
Oh, shit. We're at war.
Yeah. This is...
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh!
Marshmallows.
However, I
You-
stand it.
Well, okay, so let me get this straight. You were gonna have us sitting around this campfire, depriving us of our marshmallows for our last meal, and then just send us off to war to die. Really?
Torbeck kind of looks over you guys and it's like, man, this is a young crowd. How long have you guys been in combat?
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Approximately 37 seconds.
I just got here. I just spent the last of my marshmallows.
Wow, you guys are fresh then. Alrighty.
I can't speak for them, but yeah.
They thought wrong.
So Torbeck,
They ruined me.
Torbeck's listening to your guys' answer.
Torbeck, how many marshmallows have you had in your day?
Torbeck, hearing that question, just stares at the fire as he's cooking his marshmallow. And just in a very deep voice, he's like, too many to count. The war's been so long, and I've been doing this for so many years. I've lost count.
You need another marshmallow, man.
Gruff stands up. He places a hand on Torbeck and says, "It's okay, man. After tonight, there'll be many more marshmallows. You just gotta get through tomorrow."
Torbeck kind of repostures himself. He's like, I really hope so. This is supposed to be the final battle, they said. At least that's what I've been hearing. Rumor is if we can make it into the Dwarven Stronghold, like, it's all done. So tomorrow, I'm hoping that this will all be over.
Can I ask a question?
Go for it.
How many times have they said, if you just make it here, it will all be over?
Torbeck,
Facts.
he's looking at you,
Bad facts.
but he goes from looking at you to hear the question to staring right through you. And the only response he musters is, I don't know if I really care at this point anymore.
How did they know this is the last battle?
I don't know. I don't get all the higher up bureaucracy mumbo jumbo, but
I'm guessing there's probably... If it's gotta be the last battle, there's gotta be something of importance here.
Yeah, there's got to be some sort of secret gobbledygook that they're going to pull off to make it in the end.
They're gonna send fresh troops to a thing that's got some special gobbledygook. I didn't know if I signed up for this one.
I mean,
You know what?
You received the
Maybe
draft
the
just as I did.
gobbledygook is good.
I don't know
yeah,
if
the
any
gobbledygook. I mean, I'd rather go into battle with some gobbledygook than without any gobbledygook. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Gobbledygook is very important.
I hear it has a +5 to damage.
I think that even if this was the last battle, I don't think it would matter to them whatever happens to us. And I'm
How is
sure
it
that if it
Boark?
really is the last battle, it's gonna be our death that earns the higher ups a victory.
Ooh, that's deep.
Torbeck just like shakes his head and he's like, I can't argue with you there. And in that moment, as you're all reflecting, you hear the sound of a really loud horn. And it just echoes throughout the camp. And you hear shouting and running a soldier, again, barely dressed, doesn't have his helmet on, barely has a lot of his armor on, runs by, and he's like, the sky's falling! The sky's falling! And keeps running on to tell more. And you can see that the camp then just starts to get up in commotion. Torbeck even stands up and looks around. It's like, what the heck are they talking about?
Yeah,
Freaking little.
Was he burning more than marshmallows? You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
that's what I'm saying, dude.
Everybody roll me a perception check, and you all get a +2 to perception.
So I got a 13.
With another 6.
13 and a 6.
17 + 2, which makes it 19.
Okay, 19.
I just showed an 8.
An 8,
Perception
okay.
is wisdom, right? Yeah, perception
Yeah.
is wisdom. I get a crisp 8 after my +2.
There we go, okay. So,
I have
I think
what is
Molly's the only one that got above 10, right? You got 10,
I was
right?
19, one below a
There
nat
was a-
20. I think I saw whatever
There was a
it
13
is.
as well.
Was there 13? Was that you, Lex?
Oh, I got a 13.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry about that. Alright. So as Vidir cracks the joke about maybe having more than marshmallows, Charlie and Groff just kind of like chuckle to themselves. But Guillaume and Hiom and Sudanai, you guys look up, and he's not wrong. You actually see streaks of light. You would almost mistake it as like a shooting star, but they're getting bigger and they're getting brighter. And you see that one is actually headed right towards where your campsite is, where you guys are sitting.
Get the marshmallows. Let's book it.
Ayo, is it me or is it just? Where's the light coming from?
The moon sure is full.
No way! Whoa! Who brought more torches out?
Look at my calendar. It's supposed to be a new moon.
Guys, my neck hurts.
So we all are running away from, like, we're not just gonna, like,
Oh yeah,
I mean, that would be one hell
I'm
of
a
a story
picnic.
if we all were like, you know what? Let's
Well, what do
just
you
stay.
run away from what?
it is our last battle.
It is our last battle. Let's just stay.
But as you guys are talking, all of a sudden, this full moon just became like a lot brighter, like almost whiting out the ground. And it is at this moment that you guys know something's happening. So what are you guys gonna do?
I'm gonna run.
Run!
I'm
not much more than a soldier. I'm gonna fucking book it. I got a family to go to.
So as you guys
It's been
are
too
beginning
long
to
anyway.
Oh,
run,
Groff's not running. He's kicking back. He's like, well, I have my marshmallow.
okay, so
Ice and coffee.
Groff,
There's always one.
Groff is gonna
Is
make
it
me
high?
a dexterity saving throw at disadvantage, and you only get +1 on the dexterity.
I still want me to fail. My lowest is 16. My highest is 19.
As everybody's running away, you just are chilling back and relaxing, and as you are like leaning back, you see this giant bright light like coming at you, but instead of it coming right at you, it falls right in front of you where the fireplace is. And so you are sitting on the edge of what is now a crater where the stars barely missed you.
Can I go back to grab him?
Yeah, you
I
can go back.
Can
Yeah.
I, like... Okay, I'm gonna try to hoist him over my shoulders. Do I need a roll for that?
I'm gonna come back and ask if he's a god.
Me? A god? No. I'm just your average Groff.
He's so cool.
But Molly, I am actually going to have you do another perception check for me. And also,
Perception check?
Joe,
Sure.
go ahead and give me a perception check since you came back to ask if he was a god. As you guys are like talking to Groff and trying to get him out of there, you look over, and out of the crater, there is these orbs, right? And these orbs seem to like rise up and form into a humanoid shape. And from there, these orbs then start to suck in the ground around it. And the crater gets a little bit wider. And it starts to...
suck?
What?
Do they suck the log that Groff is lounging upon?
You know what? Give me a
Or
d20.
does-
Give me a d20 roll. Evens, yes. Odds, no.
I didn't do anything. They sucked up the rest of the marshmallows.
13.
Okay, so no, that log that you're sitting on, thankfully, did not get sucked up by the orbs. But the one across from you did, and as it gets sucked into this, might we say, gravitational pull,
Strange-looking...
yeah, orb creature, it splinters the wood apart, and the wood starts to take form of its like torso area, and then the dirt and mud starts to take form on its legs, and then all of a sudden the stones from the campfire begin to cover a metal helmet swings past your guys' head. It's Torbek's, and it wraps itself around, yeah, what we would assume is its head.
What was in our marshmallows?
What happened
Who
to
cares?
what happened to the old guy, Torvek?
As you guys are looking at this creature, Torbek actually comes from behind you, Hiom, and he puts a hand on your shoulder, and he stares at this creature. He's like, what the hell is that?
So this is not normal in battle and warfare.
That's Vadir Jr.
This is
Look-
not something you've seen before.
Look, man, I in all my years of like warfare, I've never seen anything like this. I don't know if this is some like dwarven weapon. I don't know, man. This is
still-
weird.
He's
this-
not a
is this
dwarven
happening while
weapon.
stuff is falling down?
He's my son.
So first off, Molly, yes, as you look up, there are more of these streaks of light that are falling to the earth, and you hear just impacts of craters all around. And
So
Vidir,
Bob is getting a little uncomfortable, is what you're saying.
a little bit, but he's still cool. And
Back
Vidir,
massage.
Vidir, as you
Yeah.
Vidir, as you put the helmet on, this being looks at you and kind of like slightly tilts its head, kind of like a dog, like when it hears something, and it sees that like you guys look the same, and then it's in that moment that you all hear this painful but very clear sound that you can only hear in your head, and it's just, who am I? Who are we?
That's some deep shit.
And
Oh
it
my God,
just continues, and it's this
That's relatable.
constant. It's
Oh,
really-
on move?
yeah, it's like on. It's
Part of
like
the human experience, actually. That's why it's so painful.
I'm gonna hear
don't know,
inside
it's a
my
good
head.
guy.
Don't
You're
you
my
dare.
child. You're Vidir Jr.
Look at your say baby boy
And-
Vidir.
in the
Look how big he's
cacophony.
grown.
In the cacophony of who am I? Who are we? Who am I? Who are we? There's one voice that you hear that comes through, and it just says, "I am Vidir."
I mean, you can just be Vidir if you want to. I just, I'm Vidir, so you were like Vidir Jr. You're gonna be like my buddy, my pal.
He then tilts his head the other way in more confusion.
Yeah, this dude's not dwarven. This is Vidir Jr. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys.
I was gonna say, obviously the dwarves didn't send it, so what about the Fae? The Fae could have sent it.
Torbeck is just staring at this being, and he walks a little bit closer, and he goes, "It could be the Fae, but they just don't get involved in conflicts. They do their own thing, and even when we asked for help, they were like, no, we aren't getting ourselves involved. So I can't imagine it would
Fae
be
are
the
the ones to
Fae."
give the runarounds.
I mean, I can ask him.
I don't. But dear Junior,
Yeah.
what are you?
But dear Junior, who sent you?
Who sent you?
And the last thing you guys hear before the mist comes in is Vidir saying, where is here?
Don't be afraid of the dark. Be careful with stars. Not every light is gonna guide you, baby. Don't let them rain on your spark. Keep it close to your heart. All of the pressure's gonna drive you crazy. Close your eyes to the madness. In the morning, it's all gonna vanish. Don't be afraid of the dark. Be careful with stars. Not every light is gonna guide you.
As all
feel like-
siblings
Right?
do,
I feel like I'm
swear.
in.
I know, right?
I feel like I'm in the setup of champions. I mean, I have a book. I
Yeah.
have dice. I have a table.
Okay.
You're ready to go.
Okay.
Hello, and welcome to When the Stars Fell, a D&D podcast where me and my other middle-class working friends escape reality to enjoy playing a game of imagination. So I'm going to go around and introduce you all to the players of this campaign, and then we're going to jump into session 0, technically, of what we're doing. So would the man sticking a highlighter and pencil in his nose currently want to start us off?
My name's Ray. I believe I'll be playing Alison in this. Do I need to describe my character at all, or just kind of let it pitch off?
Sure,
to
yeah.
person?
Give a little. Actually, no. Don't give a description. We'll come back to that.
Fun fact.
Fun fact for sure. Yeah. Fun fact.
Fun fact.
Fun fact of me.
Yep.
No. Character.
Character.
The character.
Fun fact.
Character. Fun fact. Thank you, Joe.
He has a buddy that's a goat. Pretty awesome. You guys
Awesome,
will get to know
okay.
him. I am a human who is he's a tinkerer.
Yeah.
That'll be disclosed later.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Tinkerbell.
Understood.
Tinkerbell.
My name's Braden. Don't worry about it. I will be playing Wahlock, Boark.
Okay.
Many people just call him Wally. Fun fact for him is he has an inanimate object following him forever that he magically made his familiar one day.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Can't get rid of it.
Because you're playing a, and I guess we should.
I'm playing a wild magic sorcerer.
That's right. That's right. Awesome.
Hello, everybody. I am Molly, and I am playing Solstice. She is a half-elf. She's part Kuzmonian, which is from this desert city called Kuzo City, which is mainly run by Amazonian women. We're kind of going with Kuzonian women instead. She's a rogue and an arcane trickster, and her special fact is that inside her city village is that they specialize in making this very specific type of pepper called the Hellspring pepper, and only the Kuzmonians can handle the heat of the pepper versus other people who are outside of the city who think it's one of the hottest peppers in the world.
Hello, my name's Alexis, and I am playing a dwarf star named Herland.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't heard of a dwarf star, that's because they didn't exist until Jacob made them exist. So he made a specific race just for this fun game.
Yeah,
I'm playing one of them. They're called what are they called again?
Starborn. Starborn's the whole thing.
Starborn. They're called the Starborn, but mine is called a dwarf star because it landed in a zombie pumpkin patch. So it's
Right
dead.
Please tell me that's the fun fact.
That's not the fun fact. It does get funner. Herland is a bard, but the fun fact is that the person who took her in when she fell to the earth, the person who is her caregiver, he tried to teach her how to play a lyre, because that's something that he knows how to play, and she just could not do it. Couldn't. Had no she just couldn't understand.
Just not talented. Just not there.
Didn't understand why you had to harm yourself and get calluses just to play it. It just didn't make any sense to her. So she never learned how to play the lyre, and she did feel a place of sadness inside herself because she found out she could not be good at everything.
That just reminded me. I totally forgot to. My character's what is he, a 4'8" dwarf?
That's right, dwarf. Yes.
He's a dwarf.
That's
not
a
a
good thing
dwarf star, just a dwarf.
Just
a regular dwarf. Okay.
I'm loving the ADHD chaos in this.
Oh,
There's
yes.
tons of chaos.
I
Are you
don't know
kidding? I have
what
cats.
you're talking about.
Hello, my name is Joe. I am playing the Starborn, named Eridanus. Fun fact. Oh, I'm a druid.
Nice.
Circle of Wildfire druid.
Ooh.
And my fun fact would be that Eridanus would score a 160 on the RADS test, and if you know, you know. If you don't know, look it up and you'll understand.
Perfect.
Piece of. I already
Am
love you.
I the only one who does not know and feels great shame in that?
No,
There's
I know
no
nothing.
shame. There's no shame in.
There
There's
is
no.
no shame.
There
There is
is
no.
For me later. I will figure this joke out
There is
another
no
time.
shame.
Yes, we will.
Now that we've properly introduced ourselves and shown the extent of our collective ADHD at work, we're gonna dive in. And where we find ourselves is we are in a similar place, except it looks just a little bit different. Now, instead of these well-built camps and lots of different infantrymen walking around and practicing and doing their drills, It's a abandoned battlefield where there are dwarven mechs and human artillery and armor and swords and just junk scattered as far as the eye can see, which is one of the few remnants of this very long conflict. And this is where we run into our first character. As we zoom in on one section of this area, which is a little shack, a little shelter, that's guarded by crossbow turrets and makeshift barricades, we find our good tinkerer friend, Alison. So Alison, as you're here, you are. What is Alison doing on a typical day?
First off, I wake up, I kick open the door like it's a movie, and the door flings open, slams, and then all of a sudden music starts playing.
So you're telling me you somebody it?
Kind of, almost the same. I'm not that cool, but I kick open the door just the same. Music starts playing from somewhere. Immediately afterwards, Timken, my extremely large goat, of which, by the way, for those who don't know, Timken is basically the size of a large mule, a small horse, but he's a goat. He's really big, but he's a goat. Basically, he gets agitated, throws a tin can somewhere, the music stops. We start going out and searching amongst the junk for treasures and to increase my tinkering ability, and I have this armor that I am planning on building that is going to be the coolest thing ever.
So you guys are walking around, you're exploring the junk and just finding all these really cool trinkets. You pull out a couple of gears that you might need. You look over here and there's a really nice piece of sheet metal. It's a little rusty, like most of the stuff here, but
so's everything.
Exactly.
That's normal.
Exactly.
Everything's fine.
Exactly. So
it's good.
Exactly.
It's surface rust. Don't worry.
Exactly. So you're picking up a couple of different things that you find along the way, and you guys have been out here for a while, and it's getting to about noon, probably about lunchtime. Probably for you guys to head back and get some lunch.
Timken is informing me. He's eating my new sheet metal that I just got. Get over here, you damn goat!
Exactly. Timken has already started feasting on that nice piece of sheet metal.
Tim, go get it!
And as you guys are kind of sifting through the metal, you see your shelter, not too far away, but pretty good distance. And as you look over, there is a being that is in a dark cloak, standing on the other side of your defenses, on the side that would be near your shelter.
Bridge. By the way, my shelter is called the Bridge.
Of course. Yeah, that makes sense. What do you do now?
I will. Can I roll a perception so I can see them better?
Yeah, go for it.
16 plus whatever my perception is. I didn't look.
It goes off your wisdom.
Plus 2, so 18.
Okay. So you take a closer look, and you're very focused, so Timken definitely sneaks another bite out of your sheet metal while you're looking really intently.
It's okay, it's not that important. Somebody's on my land.
And as you're looking, you peer more, and it seems like he even disabled your turrets, and so they're not functioning right now for some reason.
Okay, that's a big problem, because I got me a host of copper in there, and I gotta be making me something great later. And no, it's not for drugs.
Of course not. So as you... The other thing you notice...
Go investigate, but in a sneaky-ish sort of way. I'm kind of like sneaking up on the person who's sneaking up.
Yeah.
Compound sneaking.
So
Goat goes left, and I go right.
Awesome. So... so you're sneaking up. Go ahead and give me a stealth check.
Where's
and we'll
my
count
stealth? Plus 2 dexterity. 18.
So you guys are stealthing up, and this guy is just standing there in the middle of your kind of courtyard right beyond your turrets. And as you guys are sneaking up, he then starts to make his way towards the shelter. And he...
Hey, it's the bridge.
The bridge, sorry. He tries to make his way towards the bridge. And he opens the door and walks in.
So, I kind of want to sneak up all the way to like the closest window, because usually we're kind of like that. But the goat is being a pain. So I'm going to sneak up to the window, kind of like a cartoon where they sneak like way underneath the sill and like barely peek up.
Okay. Give me another stealth check.
18 again. How did I roll 16 twice? That's too much
really good.
tomfooleriness.
No, you did good. Okay. So you go ahead and you give a little peek, and what you see is that he had, or it, they, have started to kind of look at your documents. He's just kind of looking at the material that you've been collecting and just looking around your area until he finally finds a chair and he just takes a seat.
No, it's not my dad. I don't got no dad.
It's the goat's dad, obviously.
It's
Obviously.
The goat's dad. So normally this would be going fine, and the goat would be doing whatever, but the goat is intrigued because the goat is like, who the hell's in my house? And I agree. So then the problem is that both of us get into an argument, small style. You know, the goat's going, but it's like real quiet. Like, dude, we need to go in the back. We need to go. I need to come in through the house, and he's, no, I don't want to go busting in through the door, you stupid. No, shh, you gotta be quiet. He'll hear us.
So as this conversation's happening,
real tiny, and it's funny because we're both hiding underneath the windowsill, talking about going inside. I'm talking to a goat.
all right, give me a stealth check to see if you guys can be how quiet you guys
Wide
are.
enough.
This is a 6, so that's +2, that's an 8, so we're getting caught. Damn goat.
So as you guys are talking and like going back and forth about your plans and what you're gonna do, you hear this voice, and it said, "We could just talk, if you're interested." And as you look up at the window, there's this being. You can't see his face. He's very covered in this cloak, and has like this very ornate mask that he's wearing. He just has his arms folded, and he's on the windowsill looking down at you guys.
Unfortunately, there's no time to actually change into battle gear, so I'm gonna roll athletics and see if I can just bust through the window with everything I've got, and just see what happens. It's clearly no time. We've been caught. Time is no longer on my side. I gotta bust through this window. I gotta see who this guy is. I don't even care. It's my own window.
You're telling me
You're gonna bust through and you possibly roll like a 3. It's like,
Blades of glass just sticking out of you.
Yeah, give me athletics check.
Break it, and he just.
what? How does the goat feel about this?
The goat.
We're not talking to the goat. I'm just going. The goat's got my 6.
You'll see what the goat. Yeah, we'll see what the goat's feeling.
Let's see. I got a 16. Rainbow Six sieged my way through the window.
As you like Rainbow Six siege your way through the window, the cloaked figure backs up and kind of lets you jump in. The goat, he just kind of waltzes his way in. So he waltzes his way in. He's standing there next to you, and this figure, he's like, "There's no need for violence. I'm here to give you an offer."
Who are you? What's your offer? Why are you here?
All you need to know is that my name is Mr. Mann. Please.
Original Mr. Mann.
That's my kind of guy.
He's your father. He just doesn't want you to tell you his real name. He's not ready.
Mann.
Please, shall we sit?
No.
Fair enough. Understandable. And he then puts his hands behind his back, kind of like in a resting position, and he begins to walk.
Timken the goat is circling behind the man as I'm talking to him.
Yep. So he's circling behind, and the man is just kind of walking, and he says, "I have a mission." Or he pulls back. He's like, "But first, it seems to me that you're trying to build quite an immaculate creation here."
Thank you.
That's a proud father if I ever saw one.
Daddy!
I've never seen one.
Daddy, Mr. Man!
Mr. Man.
Mr. Daddy Man.
Mr. Daddy Man, thank you!
And as he's like kind kind of walking around, he's like, it's a very interesting and fascinating design. I'm really excited to see its completion. But I do notice that you are lacking a certain power source. Is that correct?
Yeah. It hasn't... It's under research and development. We haven't exactly gotten into that stage yet. The goat in the background goes "Bah!" really aggressively because he's part of development.
And
the research he's developing.
the being kind of looks over at the goat and acknowledges it. He turns back to you and he says, what if I told you I might be able to give you something that would further that research along?
Look, in my extensive research, I haven't found anything powerful enough to do it yet. However, I'm working on some efficiency stuff, and I think I can make it through. I appreciate what you got.
So, at that moment, he pulls out from his cloak a scroll.
First of all, that clearly can't power my machine. Although it runs on combustibles, that scroll won't be that worth it.
The being chuckles to himself. He says, no. It's what's on the parchment that I think would be of most interest to you. And he puts out the scroll to hand it to you. Do you take?
Sure.
The goat immediately eats it.
No, the goat's behind him. We're not worried. He doesn't like paper.
He likes metal.
He likes metal and other consumables.
So
other consumables.
So you pick up the scroll. Do you decide to read it?
Yeah. I read it. The goats keeps watch. So.
Okay. So as you open it up, inside is a lot of mathematical equations. Some of which you know, some of which you're a little bit unsure about, but you kind of get the direction. And it is talking about the possibility of manufacturing a new element that would be able to power practically anything, theoretically.
Where did you get this? Who showed you this? Why have you decided to show it to me?
And the being...
All of the questions.
The being snaps his fingers and the scroll disappears from your hand. And he says, that will have to come later. In order to get that information, I need a favor.
What type of favor?
He wants a dad hug.
Aww.
I'm not a dad though, I'm like 27.
Come here, son. No, so he... So he pulls out another card from his cloak, and he says, I'm putting together a team. A team to help me acquire...
Hold on, quick pause. Does the guy have an eye patch?
Yeah, actually, weirdly enough, he sounds like some... No, I'm kidding. He doesn't sound like that, no.
Please don't be doing this to me,
Jake. Sounds like Morgan Freeman.
But he says, I'm putting together an adventuring party. You see, there's certain artifacts that I need and want to acquire.
I need a man with a certain particular set of skills.
You are a particular man with a certain set of skills. Certain set of skills that I require. You will be rewarded handsomely in addition to this information about this power source, of course. And plenty of riches beyond what you may or may not know.
I don't exactly work well with others. I've been by myself a long time, and I think you're well aware of this.
I am.
Right. Right.
I've heard a lot about you, and this is true, but I believe that your skills are important enough that I'm willing to risk that. And either way, you'll get paid.
All right. Shut up, Timken. I'm talking here. Go eat your can, and I throw a can towards the goat. The goat starts eating the can. By the way, the goat is very agitated that I threw his favorite can at him, and he's agitated I told him to shut up.
Yeah.
Later.
So he hands you another card, and it looks blank. Like, it doesn't look like it does anything. Or it has anything on it, I should say. And he hands it to you. And he says, when you're ready, tap that card 3 times, And it will show you the place where we're all going to meet in 3 days' time. Meet me there, and I will give you all the information you need to know.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Wonderful. Also, I think your goat is getting into one of your nice metal stashes over there.
Timkin, I swear, get away from my stacks. I swear, if you get over near my stack of stuff one more time.
And as you turn around, he's gone.
Timkin, you made him get away. I told you that I was gonna let you eat his pants if you didn't distract me.
Yeah.
He even had the shiny copper buttons you like to gnaw on.
So do you tap the card?
Do you?
Well, I think I should for the quantity
What
of the
color-
quest.
what
Otherwise,
color
it
does it
wouldn't
add?
fit me.
Does he
So-
tap it like magic? Does he turn it 90 degrees, or does he like actually like tap it like a?
I assume he just grabs it and kind of smacks it against the dirty shoe that he's wearing.
My first thought is he grabbed it, smacks it against his head. It's like, does this work?
Joe.
He first tries the gently, and the gently part doesn't work. It's a stupid thing, and he smacks it harder against his steel toe shoe, and it finally kicks on. There it goes.
We go. That's exactly what happens. What was your question, Joe?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. I thought you were asking about color of something.
Oh, yeah. What color mana does it add when he taps?
Thank you.
Yeah, so the color that sparks off is this very royal purple color. And as you slam it against your steel-toed boot, all of a sudden sparks fly off that are this royal purple and yellow and red. And what forms is this picture and words, and it says, Madame Zaban's Crossroads Tavern. And it has a little information on the bottom that tells you where it is and their operating hours. And on the back, on the back it says, open to all travelers, young and old, and goats.
Oh, hell
First of all, how very livestock racist of you to assume that my goat is offended by this. I mean, what? Can't you evolve chickens and other things? Anyways, no point being, I see it and I go, okay, I guess I'm gonna collect some things and head on my way.
You put that on your iPad and Google it and find out how far away it is from your...
Because if I don't collect things and go on my way, I think this story will get very boring. So, I think I shall continue with the DM's request and head towards the certain secret special place.
So
Madame Zaban's Crossroads Tavern, as I wrote down on this convenient piece of paper.
Okay, so as you're collecting your things and doing all that stuff, we zoom out, and we come back in to a rather smaller village, home to basically all women. And as we center into the town marketplace, there are bustling people going around trading and collecting. And in the middle of this marketplace, there's a crowd that has started to gather around a young woman by the name of Solstice. So Solstice, you are currently in a crowd of people doing what kind of
illusionary stuff am I doing?
Yeah, what kind of performance are you putting on for these fine patrons, if you will?
So right now I'm in the process of doing my my caught ring gag where it's like the rings are separated. Look at all the rings and they're big. They're about yay big. Like, big circular, about a basketball size, and I've got about 4 of them, and I'm, putting them together, and then, showing that they're stuck together. Now, can you help me get this undone? I'm going up to the crowd to, offer. A young little girl, picks it up and, shows that she can't get it undone. I'm like, see? Exactly. But with the right type of wording, we can get it to undo itself. So I shall say, open sesame! and then I do my hands in a quick motion. Next thing I know, they become disconnected. The crowd claps. In the background, my serious little friend, Mr. Wiggles, my familiar, well, not my familiar, my otter friend, is going through the crowd and is stealing from the pouches of all those who are watching.
Yeah, he is, and he is making bank today. And the crowd is cheering. The crowd is cheering, and they're like, "Oh wow, that was so cool! Oh my gosh, whoa!" And that little girl,
got that guy in the back frothing at the mouth, going, "Oh."
And that little girl at the front her eyes are just huge, and she's like, "How did you do that? Oh my word!"
Can't reveal our tricks. That's just how it is.
Wow.
It's all magic, obviously.
And
now,
yeah.
I start pulling out like a deck of cards, and I start going through there, and my otter friend like does like a little whistle, and I kind of look up to see that he kind of gives me like a weird little like thumbs up with his little arm, just like, I got the stuff. And I nod my head, and then I put the card deck away, and I'm like, all right, well, that will be all for our show today, folks. It looks like I'm running out of time.
Yeah, the crowd is saying that. They're like, what? Whoa, you're done already? Come on, one more.
All right, I guess I can do one more. Who's up for a volunteer?
And you see from the back of the crowd, a hand raises, and it is covered in a black cloak.
All right, I'll take the mysterious, suspicious-looking one in the back.
The crowd chuckles at that and laughs, and they're like, "Oh, that's a funny joke. Did you hear that suspicious guy?" And this cloaked figure walks through the crowd, approaches you. He has his hands kind of folded in front of him, and he says, "How can I be of assistance in this trick?"
All right, I'm gonna need you to pick a card, and I pull out the deck, and there's a bunch of different cards for him to choose from.
Yeah, so he looks, and he has his finger on his chin, and he's just tapping away, and he's like running his finger across the cards, and then he stops right in the middle, and he pulls one out quickly and holds it up with two fingers to look at it.
All right, and so then I say, okay, remember that card. I take the card, and I put it back in the deck, and I shuffle it in many different ways, making it look real fancy with the big fancy shuffles. And as I'm shuffling, Mr. Wiggles is coming back to the stage, and eventually I stop shuffling, and I go, watch, as I make your card appear, and I hold the deck, and I begin to shake it, and I look like I'm focusing really hard, and the card begins to raise the one that he picked from out of the deck.
So as you're doing this, can you go ahead and give me a perception check? DC 17.
Sure. You said a D17?
DC 17. That means like you have to beat a 17.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
What's you rolling? Just
a
straight
D20.
die?
Yeah, perception check.
Oh, perception. So that plus your... Oh, so that don't even matter.
Yeah, so you do the trick, you do all the cool card tricks, and as the card comes to surface, you notice that it's actually entirely blank. There's nothing on the card.
Huh. That's a new one.
Gangster move.
And the cloaked figure says, seems you didn't get my card. It seems that you got yours.
All right. Well, thank you for coming to the show, everyone. I'm trying to dispel the crowd a little bit as they're like, leaving.
They're all like excited, like, oh my gosh, how did they do that? Oh my word! And some of them are disgruntled and being like, oh man, I want to see more magic. And you hear
Mr. Wiggles crawls up onto my shoulder, and he kind of gives me like a little ear kiss right next to my earring. That kind of is like our signal for him to tell me like I got a lot of money. So it's like, yeah, good job, buddy. You did a good job today. And I hold up the card, and I go, hey man, listen, I understand wanting to volunteer for a trick and everything, but you don't have to outdo me like that. Next time, give me a heads up. We can work together on this,
He raises a hand. He's like, my apologies. I just thought it would be a amusing way to introduce myself. Hello, my name is Mr. Mann.
Mr. Mann.
Yes.
You're kidding, right?
No, I don't believe so. I believe that is my name.
All
Though
right.
I can see how it would be humorous.
It's a little surprising, needless to say. It sounds like somebody's making something up. But I will go into it. Obviously, you're here for a reason, since you decided to interrupt my show to, volunteer for your own little gag. So, what is it exactly you're here for?
Well, straight to the point. I like that. It seems that you've already collected quite a bit of money. Your otter friend is quite skilled.
Quiet down on that. As, guard is, passing by, with the staff and everything. Don't you realize you could get us into some serious trouble? We're trying to make a living here.
So he leans down and he says, what if I could offer you all the money you could have hoped for?
Well, that's an offer I don't know if I can refuse, sir. But that's very hard to come by.
Let's just say I have a certain mission that I need some people to go on. To collect some specific artifacts. And I'm willing to pay quite handsomely for these artifacts.
Will it get me out of town, at least? I've been stuck in this village for my entire life. I'll be honest, I've never been outside of it.
You'll get to see the world. These artifacts are quite distant. They're in many different parts of the continent, and it would require you to travel quite a bit.
Well, considering the fact that I've been here my whole life, I can't see why I would refuse in this in regard. Not only would I be getting money, which would help me get to get higher up on the system, which would make it so I wouldn't be struggling and I can save my mother, but then I would be happier as a person and be more powerful. Plus, I am interested in looking toward the circus. I've seen them come every once in a while to the big city of Kuzo, and so far I haven't gotten to actually go and be in an actual show. They kind of do traveling stuff every once in a while, you see, and I always tend to miss it, the actual show and their big circus locations. So I'd love to go see it in person.
The being, Mr. Mann, he just chuckles to himself and he says, you have quite the ambitions. I'm sure you'll go far. If you're interested, that card in your hand, it will tell you where we're meeting in 3 days' time. I'm putting together a team. There's a couple of other people that are going to join you and hopefully join you.
Okay, you hold up. Slow your horses. You didn't say I'd have to work with other people. See, me and Mr. Wiggs, we only work together, and that's just about it. We don't really play along very well with others.
It's funny, that's what the other guy said. But I think that there are particular skills that you have, and that these other people have that will make it necessary for you guys to work together.
Listen, does it change my cut? That's all I'm asking in this regard.
Your cut is your cut. It doesn't change it.
I need to say, at the end of the day, I need to get my mother off the street. She's done nothing but raise me, and I can't say no to this. I can't. So, in this regard, sure, I'll do it.
Awesome. I appreciate your willingness and your ambition. When you're ready. Yes.
I was gonna say she spits in her hand and holds it out like a shake kind of a thing.
The man, he looks at your hand, and he points at his mask and around where the mouth is, and just kind of shrugs, and then grabs your hand and gives you a handshake.
It'll be close enough.
Once you're ready, you can tap that card 3 times, and it'll show you where we need to go. Though, I would be careful. There seems to be some guards that are looming around. You might want to get out of here.
Oh, shit! Mr. Wiggs, we gotta run!
And as you turn back around, he's already gone.
Alright, well, the guards are starting to get closer. as the guards are, and they're like, "Hey, stop her!" And I start making my way down an alley, and I book my way down, and eventually I get to an end to that situation. Not an end, a dead end. That's what I'm thinking of. Get to a dead end, and I look behind me, and the guards are like still like looking and searching. I take my cloak and I spin it inside out to change it to the getaway gecko cloak.
Okay.
And I use the cloak to help me climb up to the rooftop and away from any prying eyes over to where my home is, which is an abandoned water tower. Since it's a desert, it's not really
of course.
a water tower. It's an abandoned water tower that's where she's got like a little setup. She's got a hammock, and there's a little area where it's a chest, and her mother is there. And she goes up to her mom, and she gives her a kiss on the cheek and is like, "Hi, Mom. I hope everything was going okay."
Yes, it's been so long. How was your time in the market?
It was good. It was good. Very prosperous today. And Mr. Wiggles comes up to her, and he empties out his little arm pocket, and like several coins fall out.
Wow,
None of them
Mom,
were like
what
in.
deep voice you have.
Shut up!
Yeah, Mom. What deep voice you have.
This is just how I talk.
She picks up the coins, and she puts them into a box, and she goes, "Maybe one day we'll finally get a home."
As long as I'm here with you, this is all the home I need.
One day you deserve better
but let's
than
be
this,
real.
Ma. You raised me.
Of course, no. We need to get a house. Like that's a necessity thing, right? Like shelter's important, but with you, like it's home.
Mom, I have to tell you something. She sits down next to her, so she's eye to eye level because she's sitting cross-legged on the floor on a mat, and she puts her hand on her mom's knee and goes, "Mom, I'm gonna go on a trip for a while.
Oh.
All the money in the chest is yours. All of it. Until I get back."
Is this the circus thing that you've always wanted to do? Oh, dear, I'm so excited for you. I'm so glad.
It's similar to that, Ma, but I hope to return. I don't intend to leave you here by yourself forever.
Oh, I'll be all right. I've got me and my knitting to do.
Do you need me to live Mr. Wiggles here?
Oh, no. Please, darling, I'll be fine. Mr. Wiggles is better with you anyways. Plus, he eats all my cookies, and I would rather him not. So.
Hey, you make good cookies, Ma. I try to tell you that all the time. And Mr. Wiggles does a little chirp in response, as otters do. They whistle when they're excited. With that, she gives her mom a hug, and she lets Mr. Wiggles come up to her and give her a little nose boop, little nose smoochins, and she goes, "All right, I'm gonna head off on this trip. I will. I look forward to seeing you again. You'll get letters, and try to stay away from the guard, okay?"
Ooh, of course. You be careful, though. All right, those trips can be dangerous.
I'll be careful. I'll use my getaway cloak.
Okay. Good.
All right, and then she taps the card, the 3 times, and then she disappears.
Awesome. Okay. Perfect. So as you disappear, we zoom out again, and as we come into picture on a wasteland. There is dead bushes as far as the eyes can see. There are trees that have fallen over and are decaying. There are mushrooms growing everywhere. And there's this thick cloud that helps filter out the sun that keeps everything from decaying super quickly. And in the midst of this, we see a large pumpkin patch. The pumpkins seem like normal pumpkins from a first glance, but they are being taken care of by Herland and her caretaker?
Thyman.
Thyman. Correct, thank you. And Thyman.
Yes.
And Thyman is just coming in after looking at the pumpkin field. He walks in the back door and he wipes his brow, and he comes and sits down at the table, just kind of to rest a little bit from being outside for so long. And what is Herland doing at this moment?
So Herland, she takes her, she probably takes her just big pumpkin. She's very weak. Her body, it's made up of different rotting components and random bones and broken weaponry, so she doesn't have a lot of strength. So she probably just would take one pumpkin, and she walks in after Thyman and sets the pumpkin down on the table, sits next to him, patiently looking at him, and she asks, "Is there anything that I can do for you, Thyman, or get for you to make you feel comfortable?"
Thyman laughs, and he's like, "I mean, I'm already dead, so there's not a whole lot you can do." And he's like, nah, I'm just tired. It's been a long day. Did you, is this the last of the pumpkins that we were supposed to bring up? Can't remember, I lost count.
No, Thyman, I'm very sorry. I will bring up the rest of the pumpkins, but, I just wanted to check on you first.
No worries. Just gotta get those up eventually. I'm okay, though. If you want to go get the rest of those pumpkins, you go for it. But also, I think I put the wheelbarrow behind the shed. Maybe that'll help carry some of them. I know they can be big. You know how the fruits and vegetables grow around here.
Yes. Of course. Thank you, Thyman.
Of
and
course.
she gets up from her chair and rushes out the door with her cloak on. She goes directly to where the wheelbarrow is, picks it up, and starts to walk back towards the pumpkin patch.
And as you walk towards the pumpkin patch, you can see the pumpkins that need to be moved. And at one of them, one of the larger ones, there is a tall figure in a cloak. We've heard the song and dance before, standing and looking at the pumpkin.
Oh, why, hello, neighbor. It seems as though we are matching. You have a black cloak, and as do I.
The being chuckles a little, and then you hear him inside your head. Yes, it does seem that we are matching. You're Herland, right?
Yes. Yes, how do you speak to me inside my head? I thought I was the only one who could do that.
Telepathy is a magical property that exists a lot in this world and can be done by many different people. I was curious, is Thyman here?
And she gets very, she like stiffens up and kind of like puffs out her chest a bit, and she says, no, why were you asking? Why do you need to see him?
I need to speak to him about a quest. I'm in the search of some people that would be able to help round out this party I was creating, and I thought he might be interested.
Well, like I told you, he's off. He's not home, but he'll be back soon. If you leave the message with me, I'll be sure to give it to him.
Give me a deception check at disadvantage.
Oh my god.
Actually, just a straight up deception check. Don't worry about disadvantage.
Well, I got a 6 anyway.
Okay.
Let me check my modifier.
It's
Oh,
good.
plus
Good.
4, that's 10.
Okay. So as you say this, the being kind of shifts its head a little bit, tilts it to the side, gives a little chuckle, and then says, well, maybe you would be interested in the offer that I have.
What is this offer?
Well, I know Thyman has been searching for his descendants for a while, and I think I might have found someone who might know their potential whereabouts. I'm still gathering some of that information, but it feels pretty likely that we found some of them.
Is that so?
If you'd be willing to help me out on this quest, I might be able to give you that information.
This quest of yours, how... Well, how soon would I be able to finish it in order to receive said information?
He just kind of sighs and he's like, honestly, that's up to you and the rest of the team. I'm putting together a team that has a myriad of skills and special skills that would be able to find these artifacts, and my hope is that you will all learn to work together well and be able to seek this out very quickly.
Who else is on this team? And she's like instantly like thinking about this specific person that she's run into many times in her neighborhood, in her village, and she's just praying that he is not a part of the team.
And he kind of he shifts a little bit. He says, "Oh, no one from around here. They all come from very different parts of the continent."
Just thank God. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't. I'm indifferent.
No need to explain yourself. You're good.
Yes, I am good.
Okay.
I will consider perhaps indulging in the idea of this quest. Does it lead to certain death? I've heard that is quite unpleasant.
Death can be unpleasant, but no worries. There's no... Well, I can't promise there won't be death, but it is a perilous journey. But I think that this group of people will be strong together. And you have a goat.
And if I die, can you promise me that you will give this information to Thyman? That you will give it to him because I tried.
I swear on my own grave.
It's got some loose dirt.
What shall I do?
Well, and he pulls out a card. Again, we've heard this song and dance. And he gives you the card, and he says, when you're ready, tap this 3 times, and it will show you where we are to meet in 2 days' time.
Tap your heels 3 times and wish that you were in Neverland.
Or do that. I can't promise that'll get you to the same place, but you can also do that.
Shut up, Gunther! I've had enough of your tomfoolery. Now you have things to do.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My gosh.
Go back to my room.
I'm so glad that I don't have to do this with Gunther.
You
so
too.
Annoying.
And as you were distracted by Gunther, you turn around and he's already gone. He's vanished.
He didn't even stay for my tater tots.
I pick up the remainder of the pumpkins and I place them in the wheelbarrow. I make the trek back to the house. And I set the wheelbarrow right outside the door and I walk in and I look at Thyman and then I just walk into the other room. As if like just to avoid him because I'm so nervous of telling him.
Would Thyman be the kind of person that would follow you and check on you?
I do believe so. I do believe he would know that something's up.
In that case, as you sprint into the other room, you hear a gentle knock from behind, and the voice of someone that you recognize as Thyman, right? Took you a little bit longer than it normally does. Everything all right?
Yes. I may die.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but we're already dead.
Yes, but... Thyman, I don't think I'm like the others. I think there's something different inside of me. something different keeping me alive. I'm not sure what, but Simon, you've lost everything. And as you've explained before, that feeling of losing everyone you love is worse than death. But I'm afraid that if I can die, if I do perish, perhaps that would be something that would only hurt you more. And she just looks down at this card in her hand and just caresses it with her fingers and doesn't tap it.
I think Thyman, you hear him give a bit of a sigh. In a gruff voice, he's just like, "Come with me." And he walks out of the room.
And I crawl underneath a blanket and put it over my head and pretend like he can't see me.
You hear footsteps like he came back, and then just the kind of like, and then he walks back away. And it takes him about 2 or 3 minutes. But then he comes back and he sits down next to you and he has a box in his hand. And he goes, "Listen, kid, if there's one thing you need to know, death is a part of life. It's connected. It's how things are."
I slowly pull the blanket over my head to look at him.
And in the cycle of life, part of that cycle is finding out who we are. And I think that now might be the time for you to find out who you are. Because I sure as hell don't know. And
I sit up from the bed to look at him, cross-legged.
And he opens the box that he has in his hand, and he pulls out parchment and a quill and a bottle of ink. And he hands them to you. And he says, "I was going to save this for your Found Day. I don't know if we really got around to talking about what that would be called. But, yeah, sure, you're found, you're come into my life.
Your pumpkin patch day?
Yeah, the great pumpkin apocalypse of 1974. But here, I wanted to give this to you.
What?
And I think that if that card in your hand is what I think it is, I think it's about time that you go out to find out who you are. And don't worry about me. I'll still be here, tending to my pumpkin patch. And if I don't see you in this life, I'll most likely see you in the next."
So, your gift to me is paper. And this is to help me discover who I am?
Listen, I know that the liar thing didn't work out. You didn't like the whole calluses things. I get it. I was thinking that maybe this might be a different way that you can channel your thoughts and feelings and emotions. And we call it, well, I used to call it writing poetry. You've done this before, right?
Yes, I do. I know everything about writing poetry, of course. And she, takes the piece of paper and just stares at him, holding it.
Does she know all about writing poetry? Or is
No.
she... Yeah, okay.
She knows nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Well, Thyman just kind of chuckles a little bit and he goes, "Well, for those in the room that don't know about writing poetry, it's when we write down our thoughts and feelings and using rhyming or rhythm and meter, and we craft. It's like a song, but with words. You feel me?
Yes, it's music, but on easy mode.
Sure.
Yeah, that's...
Yes, it's simplified. It's... yes, I do believe that this is something I will be good at.
That feels like that says more about you than, poetry, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, basically that is what this is.
Yes, I will make you proud. I promise, Simon. I will succeed in this, even though I could not with the lyre.
Kid, you don't gotta make me proud. You already do that. Just promise me that you're gonna be yourself.
Yes. I know exactly what being yourself is.
Really? Well, could you tell me how that works? Because I don't know how that works either.
Perhaps you would be best to explain to those in the room who do not know what that is.
Well, for those in the room that don't know, I think the best way to describe it is...
See, that's exactly how I was going to describe it. Yes.
Listen,
yes,
kid.
I do understand the silence. Yes.
Listen, kid. I gave you the paper. I gave you the quill. I can't give you all the answers.
Silent. I promise, Simon. I shall be myself.
That.
And silent.
Missing the. It's fine. Just. Buddy, you've been here. For as far as I know, and as far as you know, your entire life, right? Or give or take. Get out.
Yes.
Go see the world. You want to be yourself? You gotta see how you're gonna react in different situations. You can't be in the same old drafty place all your life. That's just, it doesn't do anything for you.
But, Simon, you give me new situations every day.
Well, yeah, but like, that's called chores. There's a difference, okay? I give you new chores every day. I'm not like, you need to meet new people. You need to understand the world, because the world is a lot bigger than this dead zone, okay? It's huge. There's like dwarves and humans and elves and like goats. I don't know why, but like the goats are mean. Stay away from the goats. They're like, they'll eat anything.
Very important. It's
The
very
goats
important.
will eat anything?
I mean,
Yeah.
pretty much, give or take.
Like, but Ida eats anything? And there's just like this little rat that like pokes out of her cloak.
I don't think Ida's a goat.
Yes.
Correlation does not equal causation. Like that's not how this works here.
Yes, but she is not evil for wanting to eat everything. Curious. And,
right.
And it is not right for you to condemn her.
And see, that's why you need to go out and see the world. Take my biases and shove them in the trash and make your own. Wait, that came out wrong. Don't make your own just be... And he kind of just like... he puts his head in his hands and he's just like, how do I... He's like unsure how to explain this. And he just takes a breath and he taps the card 3 times. So he taps the card 3 times, and on the card appears the same kind of thing. Madame Zanda, Crossroads Tavern. And it says where it's at, and it's actually just below where you guys live, outside of the dead zone. And he says, you want to find out who you are? Start here. I know Mr. Mann's a little weird, but I trust him. He's a good guy. Or so I know. Complicated relationship. I killed him once.
Simon.
He killed me. Here I am now.
He killed you?
No, I'm just kidding. It's a joke.
Look how good I look. I washed it off. I look great.
Go.
He went to the floor with me. Look how fantastic I look.
Go find your own journey.
Simon.
Yes.
There's something that I must speak to you about.
Oh? What's that?
What is it?
And I do fear that perhaps it may ruin your friendship with this Mr. Mann.
Friends come and go. That's life, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Well,
As a wise man once said, fuck them kids. Tell me.
yes. Yes, I shall keep that to heart.
Do keep it to heart. It's really important.
Yes, fuck them kids.
Exactly.
I shan't forget your words of wisdom.
Thank you.
I
Yes,
shall
remember
forget them. No, I shall forget them. Your words of wisdom. I shall forget them. Exact quote and everything.
Your friend, well, he told me that he knew about your descendants.
That rat bastard! What kind of information is he keeping from me?
Well, my thoughts precisely. I thought perhaps that's not how friends should act.
No, that's not how friends should act. Oh, God. He's gonna get an earful from me at poker night tomorrow.
If I had known he was your friend, I would have given him some strong words.
That's okay. That's okay.
Like a wise man once said, fuck them kids.
Yeah, fuck them kids.
Get the fuck out of here, Gunther! You're so creepy. Why are you everywhere? Go
He really
away.
is everywhere. I don't understand, man. He's just constant. Just
Fucking Gunther.
You need to go. I think it'll be good for you. And if you happen to find out where my descendants are, let me know. I'm always open to that. I've been kind of scared to meet them, as you know, but just I'm willing.
It is great news, no, that Herland did in fact survive. And that she got married and had children, is it not? I was delighted to hear the news myself.
He gets a... It's like a mixture of joy and sadness in his eyes. As he reflects on what you just said, and he just says, It really is a great thing. I'm happy for her. She was a bright young girl, much like yourself. Though she could play the lyre, which, no offense.
Yes, I am aware I am.
But you don't have to be her. You need to be your own person.
Yes.
And,
Simon,
yeah?
I shall go to this tavern. I shall go to discover myself and new experiences that are not chores. But I also need you to know that I do this for you. The love that I have towards you, except for Ida. I am sorry, but I do think I love Ida more.
You know,
But that's,
never thought I'd
that's beyond the...
Never thought I'd get beat out by a rat, but that's fine. That's fine. Whatever. I see. I give you a quill and parchment, but apparently that's not good enough. It's a rat. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I understand your connection with me. Just
I promise.
be safe, kid.
Simon. I do this so that you will know your descendants. I will find Herland's children. If I die, I want you to know that I am so very grateful that I got to have you as a person in my life.
You see that, like, Thymon's face kind of, like, scrunches up a little bit. Almost like he's gonna cry, but it's clear that he doesn't have tear ducts anymore, so he can't. And he's just like...
So instead, he shits his pants.
Yes, yeah, well...
Yes, because he has, you know...
He's a zombie, he's dead. And he just like, he turns around real quick, he's like, get out of here, kid, you're gonna make me cry, alright? Hurry it up.
Yes, Simon, yes. And she bows a few times, gets up, collects the paper and ink, and she puts all the things in her bag, and she lingers at the door for a bit, staring at Simon. I will not forget you and your kindness towards me. And I expect that you will not forget me and the love I have towards you. And she exits the house.
we pull out yet again and encounter our next character, who is currently on the run. He is running through streets as he hears yelling of guards calling after him. 2 stones in one hand and a pair of gauntlets in the other. Do you want to...
Yeah, so this is a Wahlock, or a Wally.
Wally.
He's a...
Is he from the West?
4'7".
Is he from the West, Jacob?
That's...
From the West?
Is he from the West?
Wally from the West. No, he's gonna really put a wallop on you if you keep calling him Wally, you piece of...
See, the thing is that I know what map Jacob has, and I know he is from the West.
Anyways, so as...
Got him.
So you are...
But this, red flowing, bright red hair, just, you know, he's making his getaway. Yelling dwarven swears behind him.
Hey, you! Stop right there!
He's running, because,
Yeah,
but,
these guys are hot
what
on
the
your
Empire
tail.
just found out is, see the orbs he's got in his hands.
Well, I believe that these are stolen, right? These are moonstones that you stole. Yeah.
Correct.
Shit.
Yeah. And so you are booking it, diving, dipping, trying to lose them. And as you're running down this pathway, you see a figure, and he says, "Quick, down this way."
He's like, I don't know who you are, but I'm okay. I'm trusting you.
So you follow him, and he runs by, and he pushes you back into a corner and stands in front of it, kind of against the wall. And the guards rush past. One of them stops and says, "Hey, you! Did you see anybody come this way?" And the man's like, "No, I've just been standing here enjoying the nice day." And the guard's like, "Okay, well, if you see anybody that looks suspicious, let us know." And the dwarven guard runs off. He turns around and he's like, "Well, looks like you got yourself in quite a pickle. What'd you do?"
34 years of bullshit is what I've done.
I understand that. Do you,
But that's not what matters. I'm starting a new life. It may not be the best start, but it's a start. That's enough about me. Who are you? Why are you here? Why are you helping me?
The figure looks down at your hands and sees the moonstones, and he says, "Those are quite powerful objects you have. You know..."
Well, it's obvious you're not with the Empire, so...
Oh, no. I don't associate myself with really any government here on the continent.
Oh,
but...
Okay, so I can actually put these in the... Okay. Whoa.
But if you're looking for a fresh start, I might have a proposition for you.
Go on.
And we know the song and dance. He pulls out a card, and he says, "I'm putting together a team of adventurers to find..."
A team of Avengers, you say?
Adventurers! This is not some Marvel knockoff, all right?
Right on cue, right on cue.
I'm putting together a team of adventurers, each with their own special skills and special utilities.
All right. I've heard this song. Okay. What do you...
I feel like I've heard this in my dreams.
What's the goal?
Of course. There are certain artifacts that I need to acquire, but I cannot, sadly, get them myself. And I need a team that would be willing to get them. I can promise you riches, a new life. If you want to understand more about this magic that you've discovered, I can maybe get you into contact with some people that would be able to help you with that, too.
Now you're speaking my language.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, not dwarvish, because you don't look like a thing that may know dwarvish, but you're speaking my common.
My dwarvish is a little rusty, but I'm glad that we understand one another. It's really simple, really. You just need to tap this card 3 times. It will tell you where you need to go.
Oh, really? Oh, shit. Okay, well, in that case...
I mean, as you tap it, the words fly out, right? The purple, red, and gold sparks come out, and it says, Madam Zanbin's, or Zanda's, sorry, Crossroads Tavern. And you recognize that it's located in the Human Alliance, and you currently are in the Deep Slate Empire, the complete opposite direction of this other empire.
I've seen fancier doodads. This'll do. You know what?
What it's like half
I'm gonna make this fun.
Oh?
I'm not gonna... You know what? I'm gonna use the Deep Slate's army against them. These puppies? Yeah! I'm gonna go through... Down with the Empire! This is good. This is good. Yeah, this is good. This is good.
Yeah, anarchy. Down with the Empire. Sure, yep.
Anarchy.
If you need a little help, I can get you closer to that
that would
position.
be great. Not that I needed it, but yeah.
Well, of course not. No. This is just a gesture of our partnership. What?
As a flying gear comes and knocks him in the back of the head, he goes.
I see you have quite the rambunctious friend there.
In this flying gear, 1.5 foot diameter.
Yeah.
And it's got a big old moonstone in it.
You can't see Mr. Mann's face, but you feel the energy of his jaw just dropping. And he's like, did you make this?
You're down with the Empire, so yes. And I can't get rid of it. And it doesn't seem like, not that I want to, but I should really give it a name.
You hear a little muttering under his breath. It's like, oh my gosh, that's incredibly dangerous.
For gear.
Well, I'm sure G will come in very handy. Just be careful.
Yes.
I think
Raw, flawless, intellectual genius. Gear.
You should be careful. That's quite unstable magic you're using there.
Well, you're telling me. I picked this thing. I picked one of them up, and an explosion.
It exploded.
You know what? That was the start of this.
Oh.
You told me there was. You mean there's stable magic?
And so he's like, well, regardless, let me give you a hand. And he.
In all reality, if I can figure out what's going on. Because one day this just came up and it just hasn't stopped. And I'm interested in something different. And you're telling me you can give me direction just out of the blue here. You know what? I would say it's an act of God, but the Empire's practically God at this point.
Yeah, it is a little bit scary how they put the two together. Let me get you out of here. And he opens his cloak. And just throws it over top of you and G. All three of you vanish from that point. And so, with that, we zoom back out, and we find ourselves in a small desert village. The village isn't super big, at least in population, but there are a lot of buildings and market stalls. This is a place of commerce, a place of trade. This is a middle part in the Empire where people come and go, just filled with all different types of people. Dwarves, humans, half-orcs, half-elves, dragonborn. There are tons of different people here. In the midst of this chaos, we find our good friend Eridanus. And Eridanus, what are you doing in the marketplace at the moment?
Likely just observing people interacting with each other and being a anonymous force of karma. Like if someone knocks over and busts a watermelon open, I just sort of walk over and just pick it up and try and mend it back together. If someone gets mugged, I fiercely stop it. If someone gets assaulted by guards unjustly, I go and I heal them and I scold the guards.
Well, this is really
Someone
good.
makes a contribution to Goodwill. You go and then steal said articles of clothing.
So
yes, no. So
I
don't. I only steal from the rich.
So this is really great because you are on watch, if you will, and you see this young, probably like honestly, in his 20s, like early 20s, and this man, and he just gets thrown out on the street, and he's got bruising everywhere, and there's a couple of guards there that just kind of spit at him, and they're like, all right, that shows you if you try to mess with us again. Yeah! What do you think you are, coming in and stealing this poor man's apples and oranges? What's wrong with you? And you can clearly tell that the person they're pointing to, his stall is immaculate and big and has some great trim. Like, it's well-funded. And they each give one more last spit, and they're like, let's get out of here. He's like, yeah, let's go. And they start to walk away.
Capitalism really popped off today, ladies.
I'm gonna immediately walk over to him and be like,
suplex.
why
Suplex.
Just so I'm understanding the situation correctly, you needed to steal food to eat, correct? Like, your body needs nutrition in order to sustain itself, correct?
And this young man like turns around and looks at you and just kind of like jolts back. And he goes, sorry, I'm not used to seeing, yeah.
I understand that this isn't the average form life forms take. I wore the robes in hopes that I don't like to put on false appearances. This is who I am, therefore this is who I am.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And he winces a bit and holds his side, and he's like, it's been a couple of days since I've eaten.
I'm gonna immediately cure wounds him.
Okay.
First level, I assume, will work.
Yep, that's perfect.
That would be a 7.
Yep. So you see that he kind of just like restores a little bit, and he's like, thank you.
I won't lie. It seems wrong to me that they would attack you for getting something you need to survive. Is that difficult? Am I wrong?
He kind of like sits back up and he looks around, and he just is like, listen, man, I know y'all are like new to this whole existence thing, but this is just life. This is how I do. I don't really have much choice in it.
Is it just you need to feed, or are there more?
He kind of gets a little weary, and he's not entirely sure. Like, he looks like he's holding back a little bit, and he's like, I really think that's on a need-to-know basis, buddy. I just met you, man.
I'll crouch down, and I'll be like, well, it seems like you need to eat, and these guys, the guards, which I find very confusing, because my understanding was that they were meant to protect you and make you feel comfortable and safe. But if you need food, I might, could get you some food.
He kind of laughs a bit, and he's like, man, you really haven't been out this far yet, have you? Out here on the outskirts, the guards just kind of do whatever they want, dude. There's not really a whole lot of legislation out here because they don't have the reach from the capital. But you got food? And he kind of like, still wary, but he's willing to ask the question.
I'm gonna do my best to whisper without knowing what having like a form and vocal cords is like.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna be like, it seems like you got in trouble because you got caught, yes? Maybe I could help you not get caught and we can get food, or I'm actually, I can make plants grow. That's something that I'm capable of doing, and I could just do that. But if you wanted to steal it, honestly, those guys seem like jerkbags, and this guy's got plenty.
Roll me a persuasion check. And I'll say at advantage because you started speaking his language.
Which is still common, right?
Right, which is 13. Still common. 13. Okay.
It's all common.
He takes a look at you and he's like, "What's the plan?"
Well, you see how I am, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm just these I'm orbs, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I can kind of extend the shadows between the orbs around us, make us not invisible, but people don't generally just notice shadows, you know?
Okay.
And we could work together. I can't say it's, I can guarantee we're not going to get caught, but I'll make the orbs where my hands would be sort of like flare magically.
His eyes get big, and he's like, "This could work. Okay, yeah, I'll follow your lead, man. I got you."
I'll cast Pass Without a Trace on us, which gives us plus 10 to our stealth checks.
Awesome. Yes.
And we're gonna go rob this food cart.
Awesome. So yeah, you pass out trace. You extend the shadows between your orbs, and you guys are now concealed. And so, seeing that he is now concealed, this man, like, he is in awe, and he runs over to the food cart and starts to try to take stuff. And he's gonna do a stealth check. Oh, yep. And this dude is loading his pockets. Sorry, I got distracted by
No,
J. Jonah Jameson. Guys, our ADHD is showing. So anyways. So yeah, he just starts. You're good. You're good.
Sorry. Okay.
He just starts loading his pockets with apples and oranges and all the fruit that's in that cart.
I can make one too if you'd like me to help grab. I did say that I would help him.
If you want to, yeah, then you can make a stealth check.
That'll be a 19.
Okay, yeah. With a 19, you are also able to just grab as many as you want. They have no idea. The people at the cart have no idea, and it seems like everybody around also doesn't seem to know.
Sweet.
Look, Yoink-O-Matic 5,000.
So
No kidding.
you guys load your pockets, and the guy turns around at you and says, "Thanks, pal." He comes over to take some of the fruits that you had grabbed from you to take back with him. He's like, "I assume you don't need to eat. Is that, I don't know, do Starborn eat?" Never even.
No, I have no need for this. This was all for you, my friend. I hope that you are never attacked that way in public ever again, and that was an injustice. Please, as an apology from the universe, please.
He kind of like suspects it. "Thanks, man. Didn't realize there was still good people left around." And he takes the fruit, and he, with his plus 10 stealth, darts into an alleyway and kind of heads off. And go ahead and give me a perception check. Oh, you do get advantage on perception checks. What the heck?
You gave it to me, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, no, I did. You're right. Never mind.
That's an 18.
Yeah, so you look around, and you, in one of the other stalls, see a figure that is donning this black cloak, and he is staring right at you. And
Yo, I bet you he's got a card for you.
I bet so too.
You know what? I think the guy might have a card.
what's the thing from Spider-Man? All right, let's do this one more time.
Yeah.
Or one last time, right? And he's staring at you, and then you just hear the voice in your mind, and that was pretty impressive. Seems you have your own sense of justice in this world.
Justice. I am justice. I am vengeance. I am the night.
I don't
So, dirt for
feel
little G.
very strongly
Feel very strongly
about wrongs that are done to the living. Consciousness is a 1 in trillion possibility. I am a testament. Can I tell if he's like me?
Why don't you give me an insight check?
Oh.
Oh,
That's a 16.
oh.
You can tell that he is not being fully transparent with who he is. You're not sure why or what that means, but you have a sense that he is not being honest in his portrayal of himself to you.
Well, I don't like that. I'm glad that my sense of justice is notable to you, kind person. Can I ask what I can do for you?
You hear a chuckle inside of your head, and he says, "Actually, I think it's potentially what we can do for one another."
You have my attention.
And he steps out of the stall, and in his mind he's just like, "Walk and talk with me." And he starts to walk down the street.
I'll follow about 2 steps behind for a minute, and then I'll match him.
Okay. And as you begin to match him, he says, "I'm in need of some people with some very particular skills. And specifically, those that know what justice is. Justice for people that have been wronged. I think you know what people I might be talking about.
You speak of my fellow Starborn to the north?
I speak of the ones in the north. I speak of the ones here in the Human Alliance.
Wait, I know of the slavery in the north. What are the humans doing? The elves told me that this was the place that would make me less angry.
The voice comes back, the chuckle, and he says, well, the elves have not been out of the forest for a very long time.
This is true.
And they were right. This may be a place that would make you less angry, but even in the arms of freedom, the empire of good fortune, there are very few places where Starborn can exist freely.
That sounds like nonsense to me.
And maybe it is.
I mean, I understand that that is reality. However, it is a concept I struggle to fully understand as to why.
Let me ask you this. And he stops for a moment and just looks at you. And he said, and again in his head, he's like, do you want to help your people?
I want to help all living. Well, I want to help everything. I want balance. I want a universal homeostasis. And I mean, my people have been wronged, but they are not the only ones. And I want to see them freed and allowed to exist. But I believe that is, I think that's inherent from anything that can think.
You would think. Here's what I propose.
But we've only just met.
God damn it!
Nice.
I didn't think I was ready for this sort of relationship commitment, Jacob.
God damn it! I wasn't expecting that. That threw me off. Ah, shit.
Got him.
Keeping it lively. All right, keep going.
I was led to believe there would be. I was led to believe there would be a dinner.
Oh, that was good. That was good. So he said. So he's like, I'd like to make a proposition for you. Like I said, I'm putting together this team to find these artifacts. I believe that these artifacts, when found, might be able to help in restoring this homeostasis that we're looking for. I can't exactly...
You also wish for homeostasis?
I wish for balance. For justice. I'm not going to lie to you. I have seen the ways in which Starborn have been wronged, and I want to help this new life thrive, not watch it be smothered. But this team I'm putting together, I think, will also be in some need of some homeostasis, if you know what I mean. And I think that you might be a good addition to that team.
I appreciate the confidence. What do you need me to do?
Very simple. I need you to continue having this sense of justice and care for all the people you come across. But more tangibly, I need you to work with this team to find these artifacts.
I believe that I can execute what you're asking me. I do think that, since you said you would not lie to me, it is important to me that you know that I have killed people. Like, some people just don't think life is sacred, and I have to defend myself. It's not something I particularly enjoy, but as you have said, this world does not operate exactly as we would like sometimes.
Murder.
Judas, no.
No.
And as you said that, a butterfly flies over and lands on the man's finger. And he looks at it and he says, when there is life, the only possible conclusion, and he looks up at you,
is death.
Precisely. And the butterfly falls to the ground. This is the circle that we live in.
I appreciate what you did there, but was that necessary?
And you can...
Or, hold on. My apologies. Was that just random? Did that just... you could know about the time of the butterfly's death, and I'm gonna think about this for a while. And he's just gonna stand there.
Well, when you're
We
done,
can make it through a session with Jacob killing a butterfly, guys.
well, when you're done thinking about
Had
that,
to do it.
and you're ready to see what this offer may have in store for you, why don't you join me? And he turns around, and now that you look around, you notice that you're no longer in the marketplace, but you are in front of this big flashing sign, this big neon flashing sign that says Madam Xanda's, Xanda's Crossroads Tavern, and you see that he walks towards the building and enters.
I'm gonna continue thinking about what just happened and then follow him in.
Perfect. As you come in, you look around, and it seems that this guy is very quick. And Mr. Mann has not rushed, but seemingly very quickly moved to a booth in the back right corner of the tavern. And there he seems to be seated. He seems to be seated with a dwarf, a half-elf, a human, and a dwarf star, to which you recognize very clearly as someone of your people. And he seems to be there seated with them in the back of the tavern.
I don't wish to be forward, but I must clear the air. Gentleman dwarf, you do not hold claim over this Starborn's personhood, do you?
No.
And then I'm gonna look at Mr. Mann and be like, I thought we were going to. They're not together, right?
No, each of these people here before you.
Hold on. Are you asking me if I own them?
Yes. I was under the impression that I was going to be stopping dwarves from owning Starborn, and then we found a dwarf next to a Starborn, and.
Oh, in that case, I see exactly where you're coming from, and I am.
I 100% own
that empire, that dwarven empire. They are dead to me.
Interesting.
I was not aware that a dwarf had such strength inside of them that they could own someone such as myself.
Well, the reality is they don't own you. They just have taken advantage of our infancy consciousness and imposed their will on our people.
They have done a tremendous amount wrong, and I can never forgive my own people.
So this is what Thyman meant. I do not think it is the same as when he was alive.
I was about to ask the same thing.
I'm assuming that you guys are the other ones that one in black had said about Mr. Mann, as he said his name was.
It's not a very good
tips his
name,
hat.
is it?
Yo, he's got a hat?
Did you guys?
That's some important information.
Another point of order.
Yeah, point of
It's a
order.
cowboy hat, isn't it?
Is it a cowboy?
It's a fucking wizard from Stardew Valley.
It's
the
a
wizard
fedora.
from Stardew Valley.
It's a fedora, is what it is.
Oh, damn.
Okay, what was that, Joe?
It's Indiana Jones.
I think it is important for us to know, since Mr. Mann brought us together, that he can predict when a butterfly will die. That is the conclusion that I came to based on what I saw outside. He knows the exact time at which butterflies will die.
It's almost as predictable as my goat chewing on his can.
Dear God, there's a giant goat.
A goat aggressively grinds can.
Have you guys been sitting in this tavern with a goat for very long?
Yes, too long. I need to get out.
And Mr. Mann kind of just is just, you can just hear him chuckling to himself. And as you guys are talking and debating, this very cheery older woman runs over, and she kind of just slides in, and with her hands out to the side.
Give me a D20 on how good the slide was.
All right, I'll give you a D20 on how good the slide was. That's, oh gosh, numbers. 18.
18?
It is a good slide. She has practiced. She
that
knows what
slide
she's
is
doing.
Immaculate.
It's
not
amazing.
Perfect, but it's immaculate.
Exactly. And you know what? Nothing in life is perfect. And Madame Zidane knows this, and so her slides are never perfect either. And she just comes in and she's like, "Welcome, everyone, to my tavern. What can I get you all to drink? Mr. Mann, it's so good to see you." And Mr. Mann tips his fedora. Not in a weird way, but in a kind gesture way. Acknowledgement.
That man tips it weird.
Okay, maybe it is a cowboy hat. I don't know. We'll figure that out.
It's an ever-changing hat.
It's an ever-changing hat.
What he's got on.
It just depends on how he's feeling that day.
Actually, that'd be funny. Is if every single time we look at him, it's a fedora, it's a cowboy hat, it's a hat with a little propeller on it.
Terry the platypus.
Oh my god.
Platypus flower? A berry the platypus flower berry.
Oh my
To the
god. So Madame Zidane's like, "What can I get y'all to drink?"
Grog.
Baja Blast.
Please. No.
Water, please.
I
But
want
if you could, in a small dish, please. Thank you. Not a cup. Small dish.
Sure thing.
teacup
Customer's
would be
always
fine.
right. Sir, with the beard and the salt and pepper kind of look, do you want anything to drink?
Me or the goat?
Yeah, she's specifically talking to the goat.
Because both the goat and I are grizzled with blackish brown hair, and have salt and pepper. So
She's actually looking right past you and at the goat, and the goat just like stamps its hood off on the table and goes, "Bah!" And she's like, "Coming right up. And you, sir." Other grizzled man with salt and pepper black hair.
just let's have water without any chunks in it would be great.
Water without chunks?
She's like, it'll be the chunkless water, most chunkless water you've ever had. And you, good sir,
I know exactly where you've been with your chunky water. That's a terrible part of town. Why are you there?
And sir, do you want anything? I don't know if Starborn, do they eat? It's been a while since I've had one come through my tavern.
I will not be partaking. My body does not require ingestion.
Well, I feel very sorry for you, because let me tell you, my cooking is good. I'm just gonna say it anyways. What was that, dear?
Oh no, I'm just a bit curious as to, like, you know, do Starborn like to eat, or do they just choose to eat, kind of a thing? Or
You're
the first Starborn I've ever come across.
I would say that as Eridanus sits there, you see the like head flare up, and this minor visage of like a young elven androgynous face appears and starts to like speak, because he doesn't hold, I guess they don't hold a form. I don't have a tongue or intestines, and they open up their robe and they're like, it doesn't go anywhere. So I've never tried, but sometimes when I focus and I can make these lips in front of my consciousness, maybe water, please.
Herlin just like has the biggest, widest eyes, because she's never seen like the actual like innards or whatever of a Starborn, because she's covered with flesh. So she's like peeking through her own like rotten flesh and like the weird rocks and stuff that make up her like exoskeleton, like at the bluish white glowing tint, and she's like, that's the same. That's what's inside of me.
It's fascinating. I always heard a lot about you, Starborn, but never got to see any because I was the one making the machines. Yeah, you don't want to hear any of that anyways.
You're right, we
Feynman,
Perfect.
he used to
I like you.
bake.
I hate you.
Does anyone want to play cards? I know a good couple card games up my sleeve.
And as you guys are talking, Madam Zonda leans over to Mr. Mann, and it's like, should I put this on your tab? And he just nods, gestures, thank you.
Like 3 of us are drinking water. This is virtually free.
You think that water is free in the human alliance?
It's fucking water, obviously. Fiji water, anyone?
Wait.
I think it should be.
Water is not free?
It's even worse.
I was under the impression that most of you with bodies needed it to survive.
In the Dead Zone,
Correct.
water's always free.
Correct.
Will object.
But here in the human alliance, it is quite the commodity.
So that's where you took me. Okay.
But what?
Yes, you are here
What
in
if a
the
human-
human alliance.
What if a human dies from it?
Ah,
It is a basic need for all living things.
Oh, that's just called dehydration. They grab them, stack them in piles, and throw them out the back.
If you just
I
if
find
you're
this
smart about it,
displeasurable.
you drink enough water when you need more water, then you should be fine. Says the girl who comes from the desert.
And this is where Mr. Mann then looks back at you, Eridanus, and he's like, you can't see his face, but you can feel the energy. It's like, see what I told you about injustice? And he turns back to everyone and he says, I thank you all for coming here. I have quite the mission ahead. And I promise that there will be great rewards at the end for all of you that are able to help me out in this endeavor. So far, as I've told you already, I am seeking people that will be able to help me find these long-lost artifacts. It's been troublesome to locate them, especially with my resources tied up with this Cold War between the Deep Slate Empire and the Human Alliance. The amount of bureaucracy, and let's just say it's a lot easier to work outside of rules and regulations.
I find that is most efficient.
As do I. And I believe that you all might just be the people that I need.
You
That
sure
could.
you couldn't just do it with one? I'll still take you up on the offer if you just want me.
He
Are you really that talented and brave that you could go on this adventure all on your own? I've never
I could do
met
anything on my own if I absolutely wanted to.
Wow.
You get raised on the street, you learn a thing or two about having to survive. And one of it is the dog-eat-dog world.
Living women are so absolutely amazing. I had no idea. No wonder Herland had descendants.
I concur with your
It would
assessment.
be rather interesting inside the city.
As you guys are talking about this, he pulls out another piece of paper and he spreads it across. It's a fairly large piece of parchment. He spreads it across the table in front of you, and he taps the parchment with his hands 3 times. And from
Always
that,
with threes with this guy.
there appears what looks like it's a cylinder, almost like a quarterstaff, but it's a little bit shorter than a quarterstaff. And as it comes up, it's, do any of you recognize this item?
Yes. Yes, I definitely
Can I
know
roll
everything
for it?
about that item.
You know what? Yeah. Roll history at disadvantage.
Roll history at disadvantage. Oh boy!
Any of us, or
I would say that everyone except for Molly would have to roll history at disadvantage.
Yeah, I never left my
What?
village. I wouldn't know.
What? I have like a +6.
Uh-oh, I have a
with-
3.
with my +6, I got a 10.
3, 10.
With my +2, I got a 6.
15 +6 is still way more than enough, so...
That was your lowest?
That was your lowest roll?
Yeah, I had 16 was my other one.
Okay. Ray,
I don't know what this is, but apparently I know what this is.
So Ray, you know exactly what this is. And the reason you know is because you actually saw it in a book that you found amongst the scrap heap. What this is the staff of the Emperor of the Human Alliance.
So we're going after the staff of the Human Alliance. Why?
Yes, that is exactly what it is, and I did know.
You're telling me
this
we're
entire
going
time.
after a king's scepter?
An Emperor scepter, to be more exact, but yes. This is...
Does that involve magic?
Sorry?
There's gotta be something more to it. It can't just be a stick. It's gotta be magical, right?
It is magical in nature.
We're gonna get paid if we get it anyway. Maybe we
Alright.
just start getting our bags and starting going on this mission already.
Wait, no, you want the scepter.
You know, a plan would be a half bad idea.
A what?
Plan, man. I don't need a plan unless, of course, I trust my own instinct, which is what I'm doing, which I'm saying we should just go. The man is paying us, and some of us have families to get to.
I do agree with the living girl. She is most intelligent.
Thank you. I
Yes.
like this one.
I find the behavior erratic and eccentric, but agreeable.
The thing you have to know
Boop, beep,
is
bop,
that this
boop, beep, bop,
scepter
boop.
is owned by the Emperor of the Human Alliance. The only way you're going to get it is to either take it from his throne room or take it when he is going on his many... and he throws up...
I'm sure he's not just gonna part with it easily, is he?
No. This is a very sacred item to the Human Alliance. It's not going to be easily taken.
Question
his
for
many
ya.
what?
Sorry, what?
Well, I do believe that Alison had a question.
Yeah.
I just also had one. You may go.
No, you first.
No,
you
I
first.
insist. I insist.
No, I insist.
All
You
right.
know what? I
I
insist.
I also insist. She goes first.
I was just wondering, his many what? You were saying that we would have an opportunity to infiltrate his office during his many, but you did not finish.
Yeah. The other possibility is that he does many, and Mr. Mann puts up quotations with his fingers, and he said, when he says the word parades. It's a way of showing his strength and might throughout the Empire.
Yes, we've done that before in the Deadlands. Yes.
Oh, you have?
We had huge pumpkins on all these big trailers that we. Anyway.
Similar, yes.
Kids, they're hard to get.
You know what? I see this as I've already messed up my my entire thing with the Dwarven Empire and the Deep Slate. That's never going. They're never gonna want me. So if I'm gonna mess something else up, I may as well also mess up the humans. Because no one's gonna want me at that point, and then I can live happily, peacefully on my own, maybe, right? Right, you know.
That's
Before Alison asks his question, Wally, are you dead?
No, he's
No,
just
but
mad.
sometimes I wish I was. Why do you ask?
Oh, you definitely look like you're dead. Your face, it's lost all life.
I see. You're not. Okay. It's because I'm a different. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I forget. I'm a dwarf. I look big. I'm very different. My. Believe it or not, my hair didn't used to be red.
It's
but,
something in your eyes.
that is called a
Crack
lifetime
cocaine.
being wasted.
Ah, yes, I shall put that in my notes.
How to
Living.
die. Be wasted all the time.
Wasted equals not dead. Thank you.
I find that is technically true, that if you are wasting a life, you have to be alive to have been wasted it, so therefore, your logic is sound.
At this point, Madam...
bartender, can I get another?
At this point, Madam Zonda comes in and gives you all your drinks and sees that you asked for another, and she's like, coming right up, darling. And she rushes off to get that one as well.
Before she leaves, Mr. Wiggles pops out from under my cloak and kind of does one of these, like with the praying hands kind of a thing. Like Can I has. And I look at him and I go, gotcha. Can he get some salted water, please? He likes the salt water.
And immediately the goat gets agitated.
Sure thing, but
just another animal appeared.
She
Goats are not rats. Goats are not rats.
She looked at Mr. Mann. She looks at Mr. Mann and she's like, "It's gonna cost you extra though." And he's like, he like brushes it off, like of course, like it's not a big deal. She's like, coming right up, and she runs off to go get it. And Mr. Mann, yeah, go ahead.
I let my rat come out from my cloak. I pick her up out of like the pocket of my cloak and like bring her down to the table in front of the little like I'm assuming she brought out like a saucepan.
Yep.
So that Ida can lap up the water.
So many species of life are represented.
Wally looks directly at Mr. Mann. And just and where he thinks the eyes, would be. Just like, you sure know how to pick up, don't you?
What's that supposed to mean?
He kind of adjusts his cloak and he's like, some might say I'm the best at it. You had a question, Mr. Allison.
Yeah. First I look over my shoulder and roll for perception if I'm allowed.
Go for it. Or what are you looking for specifically?
If anybody's overheard this, that, would be ratting us out to authorities right about now.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
We've said some stuff that I'm like, oh, good. I don't see anybody because I get a 7.
Yeah, no, it seems like everybody's doing their own thing, as far as you can tell.
Dalyn is writing in her notes that calling someone short is an insult.
Yeah. So, I kind of look around, I take way too fast of a glance and don't actually, search the room. And, basically I determined it's fine, and I just kind of ask him, I was like, hey, could we have picked a more private place for this conversation?
He folds his hands and he just chuckles a little bit, and he's like, what happens at Madame Zanda's stays at Madame Zanda's.
This isn't Vegas, Jacob.
That is an interesting way to conduct business, but still charge for water. Does she have a well?
Yes,
is that where the
shame
water
on you, Madame Zanda's.
No.
The starboard makes a fair point.
She actually grabs an eyedropper and sucks it off of the leaves in the morning dew every morning.
So,
very strenuous. It takes way too long.
Mr. Mann is like, well, there hasn't, as our friend here, Solstice would know, there is not a lot of water that comes through this part of the world.
Yeah, there isn't. It's more of a treat, honestly, depending on when you can get water and when you can't get water. You're used to getting plant-infused water, which is a lot easier to come by. It just depends on where you're at.
But that being said, yes, Madame Zanda does have a well, and it produces quite a bit of water, considering it's on a spring. But anyways, besides that point, and he just kind of, like, hurries along, because he's recognizing that he's not going to lie, but also, like, this could start something. And he hurries along, and he says, what I'll need is for you guys, and he kind of just, like, rubs his forehead, and he's like, there are other artifacts out there, but I haven't necessarily located them yet. I know where this one is, and this has got to be our first priority. So, I'm going to need you to go after this one first. As far as I know, it is currently in the capital. I'm sure that he has different parades that he has scheduled throughout the course of the next couple of months. You might be able to find that out in some other towns. The person that I would suggest is that you need to talk to Xanathar. He is the person that would know the most about where the king parades come in. He's very in deep with the different guards and knows a lot of information. He's actually...
And where can we find this Anathar?
Yeah, it's a great question. I know on good intel that Xanathar is actually here in the town. He's here on business, and he's going to be here for the next couple of days. So it might be good to check in with him and try to find out some more information.
And what exactly are you going to be doing, Mr. Mann, during this time period?
Taking a nap.
He chuckles, and it's like, well, sleep, there's no sleep for me in the future. I am going to be spending my time trying to figure out where the other artifacts are located. As those will be the next
Alright, as
missions.
long as everyone's doing their part, I see no reason we should be waiting. Let's go!
And as you say that, Madame Xanda comes back, and she has her array of salt water and grog, and she's like, oh, you guys are leaving so soon? I guess you won't be needing these then.
I was kidding. Okay. We'll wait as Mr. Wiggles is like pulling on her ear like very aggressively like.
And Madame Xanda gets a little smile and she passes out the salt water and the grog.
Madame Xanda may have a slight private word.
Oh, of course. Not a problem. Why don't you come up to my bar, Keep? I gotta clean up some glasses real quick.
Cool.
And she starts going that way.
I follow behind her, and this will be quick. I just wanted to know where your well was located. I assume it was running low since you were charging for water, and I was just going to refill it.
She gets down and she uses 2 fingers to like tell you to come closer.
Come closer.
She's like, you want to know the secret about the well, dear?
There's a secret?
I only charge the rich people. And she backs up and she walks away.
I walk back to the table. Madame Xanda is now my best friend.
Hey, you have been chosen.
And I have ordered 1,000 waters on Mr. Mann's tab and given it to as many people around here.
Xandor is no longer a friend of yours.
And he said, yes.
Yes to the water that was ordered.
Oh, yeah. Madame Xanda brings some more waters to you guys.
So
excuse
where...
me. Can you taste that?
Eridanus picks it up.
Roll for taste.
Roll for taste.
Splashes it.
Do we gotta roll for taste? Do we have to roll
Puts it
for
to the
best
manifested ethereal lips. Do I taste anything?
Well, you can't because they're just lips.
Okay, so here's...
I've never been able to taste anything, but I do often eat and drink because it's enjoyable in the company of others. I was just wondering if perhaps this water was special and you could taste it.
So,
I cannot taste it.
So go ahead and, for our Starborn friends, give me a percentile roll. Which should be the D10 and the other one that is also a D10 but has the 70, 10,
the double 1 D10.
Yeah.
Double D.
If it can be believed, I got an 11.
Okay.
Alright.
I haven't rolled yet. Hold on.
You're good.
I got a 10.
Like a 10 and a 0?
Yeah.
So Eridanus, when you put the water up to your lips, you don't really taste anything. Like, honestly, you really don't even have the concept of what like wet feels like.
Yeah.
So it's like there's
What is
nothing.
wet?
Like if there's anything you notice, it's like the slight temperature difference, but that's about it. That's about it.
It is a liquid no longer in my hands but in my mouth, and I'm very confused.
I'm just now understanding what Alexa?
Alexis, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What you rolled.
I don't understand either. Why is it significant that
So a 10 and a 0 is 100% on a percentile.
100%.
It's like rolling a nat 20.
I rolled 100%.
Yes.
I can taste it.
So here's what
This
happens.
is the best thing you've ever consumed.
You drink the water, and at first it's like every other time that you've done it with other people. Like, there's not a whole lot that happens. It's like whatever. But very quickly you realize, first it's the temperature change. You notice there's a change in temperature. And then second, all of a sudden there's like this really potent kind of metallic, like what you would imagine metallic to be, followed by just this bunch of different minuscule flavors that you can piece out and can tell different what these different like sensations are, right? They're basically, it's like you can taste the individual minerals within the water, right? And then you can tell the temperature difference within the water. But as quickly as it comes, it also leaves. But there's a split moment where you actually are able to taste it and understand it. And so from this moment on, your character will be able to taste and know what minerals are within a water that you drink.
Eridanus, it is magic. This is nothing like the water in the Deadlands.
Splash more on my face orb.
You splash more still. You're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Starborn can taste things. So some Starborn can taste things. Could you try this for me? And she pulls out the Hellspring pepper.
Yes, thank you. Oh, how generous you are. I shall try in your treat. Takes a bite out of it, which isn't really a bite because she doesn't really have teeth.
Right.
So it's more just like mushing it and then it goes into her mouth. And
roll to see what happens.
Yeah, roll a percentile for me again.
Because this doesn't have minerals in it necessarily.
It's not
so
water.
I wouldn't be able to taste
so you wouldn't
it.
be able to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
29.
You eat the pepper. There's not really a lot there. You recognize that there's matter there. Like it's like touching a piece of wood. You know that like you can touch something and you know the texture,
Right.
but there's nothing.
I know the texture. It is most delicious. Yes. I do taste your treat that you gave to me as a gift. Thank you so much for
Fascinating. I'm gonna keep this in my notes for later.
Yes, it tastes very sweet. Yes, it's a bit bitter.
You can't
and
taste it, can
savory.
you?
I
can't
taste the
taste it.
savory.
Again.
No. Yes, I shall consume the whole treat. It is very delightful. Thank you very much. She pops the rest of it in her mouth.
Does she feel the heat of the capsaicin in her body?
So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say no. She doesn't even feel that.
Wow.
The pepper's just not reacting to her because she doesn't have a normal bodily system. What I will say
Yes, thank you.
What
Thank you. This is the most delicious treat I've yet to taste. Perhaps one day I shall share with you my pumpkin
treats.
Yes, it is so yummy and fantastic. It does, and there's nodes of goodness in it. Thank you very much.
So as you
treat.
As you guys are having this discussion,
She drinks more water.
Madame Zanda comes back over and she leans down to Mr. Mann. She goes, "By the way, here's your tab." And she hands him the bill, which is on a piece of parchment paper that just like stretches for at least a good like 2 or 3 feet.
I just ordered water.
And he looks over at Eridanus and is like, "This was you, wasn't it?"
Well, it was partly me. I did drink some.
I think he means the 1,000. I assumed it would be okay.
He's like, "That's fair." And he rolls it back up and he signs the bottom of it and pulls out a bag of coins and places it on top. And Madame Zanda comes by and collects it. And at that moment, you guys, sitting in your booth, you hear a loud scream from outside the tavern. And there is silence, and then the tavern starts to murmur, and they're like, What was that? What? And
injustice seems to be happening.
There is trouble afoot.
Hold on.
Come quickly!
It's not me. I have to go find out.
Come quickly, Robin, to the Batmobile! Yeah, so you guys hear the scream coming from outside, and you see a couple patrons go out to see what's going on. And Mr. Mann just goes, never a dull moment.
I guess we shall.
I was going to ask
Never
questions about the
a
cultural
dull-
needing of exchanging of coin, but I think we should probably check that out.
Yeah, it's fine.
He,
We should probably go check.
Mr. Mann puts a hand on your shoulder, Eridanus, and he goes, we'll talk about it later, buddy. Don't worry. We'll have time. And
I was gonna ask where the hell the king, the emperor may be, but I think all we have to do is look for the nice big old fuck off castle.
Well, and he said earlier that Xanathar has the information.
Xanathar.
There's someone in town we have to talk to. I hope he's not the one who was screaming.
You
That
know,
would be slightly inconvenient.
Herlin slowly, she picks up Ida, puts her back in her cloak pocket, and she slowly creeps towards, the window, just to,
Actually,
peer outside.
Okay.
I haven't seen Little G anywhere.
Eridanus.
Do I have to make, a stealth check or something?
No, that's okay, because I think everybody's really distracted at this point. Eridanus, what are you doing?
I'm just going to walk outside.
Okay.
Do I need to make a perception check?
And just a second.
Oh, sorry.
I will also follow.
Roll me a d20.
Me?
Braden.
Oh,
Nat
nice.
20.
Perfect. So you look around, you're like, where's little G? And all of a sudden, you look left, and then you look right, and then you look left again, and he has popped out from underneath the booth, and is just staring you right in your face.
With the human eyes, obviously.
With the human eyes that obviously no. I guess not staring at you, but he's right in front of you.
Googly eyes.
He's got welded googly eyes to the side of it.
They're steampunk googly eyes, so they have perfectly made glass balls, but they're copper behind it. They have little marbles on the inside.
There you go.
One's different color
You're
than
just
the other.
the sound of the glass clinking as it's rolling around. Hey man, what's going on?
Look at it and you piece of machinery. You.
When you say you piece of, it backs up a little bit, tilts, it's getting ready to swing, and then you say machinery, and it just comes back slowly.
You piece of.
And then that's when I just punch it.
Oh, that'll go well.
I'm doing it.
No, fantastic. Go ahead and roll me D100.
88.
You punch little G, and he goes flying through the tavern towards the door. And as he's going flying, he flies past Alison's head, and Alison, you begin to float off the ground. First, it's Alison, then there are two more patrons that start to float off the ground. And then Eridanus, it goes past you, but it doesn't affect you because you already have the ability to hover. But you do feel a little bit of a lift, oh, that was weird.
Just Wally's just, again, just,
I'll turn to Alison and be like, I feel as though the dwarf's magic isn't in his control.
Dude, it's not magic. This is something that can be explained. I just don't have time to figure it out.
Yo, not gonna lie.
Interesting.
Wally looks directly
I think you might be right.
into Alison's eyes. Just stares at him intently. Okay. And just walks out the door.
Okay.
Roland writes in her notes, sometimes magic isn't magic.
And Solstice, what are you gonna do?
Well, since everybody is starting to head out toward the building and everything like that, Mr. Wiggles is gonna take a sip of everybody else's drink while nobody's paying attention, and then jump back up onto my shoulder as we begin to head out toward the building.
Okay. As you guys walk out of the tavern, and Herland is peeking over the windowsill. Herland, go ahead and give me a perception check.
18 plus 3.
There you go, 21. Okay.
So 21.
So you can see, actually, you luckily had a good spot where the crowd was parted for some reason. But as you guys move forward, and Herland, you see this from a distance. You see this crowd that you have to push through, and there is just, they're gasping and oh my gosh, what happened? Oh, where did this come from? Why? And as you guys get closer, so Solstice, you don't see this immediately because you're still trying to push through the crowd. But everyone else.
And Mr. Whiskers trying to catch him too. So.
That's true as well. Yeah, Mr. Wiggles is getting around.
Wiggles.
Um,
I missed Wiggles.
As you guys start to get closer, though, and that would be Eridanus, Alison, and Wally. As you guys get closer, you see in the middle of the road is a body. Seems to be a young halfling, or an older halfling, sorry. And he's not moving. And there are guards that have come around, and one of them is kneeled down checking out the halfling.
Is he alive?
Are you asking?
I'm asking the guards. Actually, you know what? Can I just sort of feel the vibe if he's alive?
Can you actually feel the vibe, though?
That's the question I'm asking
Can
the
you
DM.
feel the vibe, though?
Yo, is he that funky that he can feel the vibe?
Can you feel
No,
the vibe, man?
No, but that's what I mean. It's like, can he actually feel the vibe? Or
Can
can,
I,
he
like-
not feel the vibe?
Can I like whisper to Eridanus? I think he may just be wasted.
Are you up there with Eridanus right now?
She should be able to speak into my head.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can just. I'm sorry. I forgot about that. Yeah. So only Eridanus hears that. I think.
I think he might just be wasted.
I'll check.
So
And-
I'm gonna say, if you want to try to feel, roll me a D100.
I rolled the 10 and the 0 again.
Okay. What?
I rolled the 10 and the 0. That's
Oh
what
my
I rolled.
Got 100.
Oh my god. Okay. How do you, as Eridanus, interact with the universe?
That's a deep philosophical question.
That's pretty heated.
For the most part, I would be trying to feel for his life force, the thing that connects him to the cycle of life and death. Whether or not what side of that he would be on. Everyone's sort of, it's easier for me to get inside the minds of other Starboard, but I have been able to feel into other living things, especially if I use my magic, like speak with animals or plants or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
So I sort of just emanate that out towards what may be a body.
So you
and
emanate
see
that.
if there's anything left. Yeah.
So you emanate that, and as that kind of comes out in a wave, it hits some of the other people in the crowd. It hits the guards, and you can see the fire that's inside of them. But as you hit this halfling, there's no fire.
I do not believe. I mean, he is wasted in the metaphysical or philosophical senses that his life is no longer here, and therefore that is a waste. I'm going to quickly turn to the guards. How long has he been dead, and did you do it?
The guard turns to you, looks at you, and you recognize the voice, and he's like, "Oi! What are you looking at? Get out of here! This is an investigation. You're impeding an investigation. All right."
You don't seem very smart, so I'm gonna ask one more time, and then I will get aggressive.
Oi, what? I'm not smart.
Excuse me?
Did you do this? Did you do this, and how long has he been dead?
I'm sorry. You think the royal guard would kill Xanathar?
And then, upon hearing that, oh, fuck.
What's he on about?
Eridanus is gonna be like, well, that's actually an issue, but it may not be. How long has he been dead? Did you just find him? Like, did he just drop dead right now? How good are you at investigating? It doesn't matter. We're running out of time, and I'm gonna cast Revivify on Xanathar.
Ooh.
This is getting interesting. It's getting spicy.
So is he reviving Xanathar? Is that what
I
you're doing?
touch a creature
He
that's
needs
died
Xanathar. That was the guy we were
last
supposed to go
minute.
talk to.
He has to have died in
I
the
just-
last minute.
No,
And-
I'm just asking questions to ask questions.
Are
'Cause
you serious?
So you cast Revivify.
So he
Um,
was wasted. He wasn't dead.
So you cast Revivify. And how do you cast it? What does the magic look like as it comes out?
I would walk over to Xanathar, ignoring the dumb guard, unless he physically puts hands on me, and I would just put the 2 orbs where my hands would be together and sort of just defibrillate, just sort of walk over and just like, and just try to get him to come back.
That's great.
Just take my life essence and just try to like, maybe if I just force some of life in there, it'll just come back.
Yeah, so
Maybe if I strike him as hard as I can, directly in the middle of the chest.
That could work.
Maybe if I WWE wrestler drop onto him, he will wake up.
If you elbow drop him, he'll get extra points.
So,
but if the guards try to stop me, I will tidal wave them. So you're aware.
So you go in and you slip by the guard, and he's like, "Oi, hey, where you going?" And you go down and you cast Revivify. You defibrillate the guy, and his chest goes up from just like the gravitational pull of your orb, and he falls back down, but you don't see the fire coming back into him.
He's been dead for more than a minute?
Yep.
He must have been.
He did scream.
Did he?
No, because it must have been someone else who screamed if he's been dead for longer than a minute.
Maybe the guards screamed because they were sissy girly men who found him.
Can I do a perception check on his body by chance? Am I close enough to do that now?
I would say so. Yeah. Go ahead.
I got a 19.
Ooh. Okay.
Ambitious.
Okay.
I'm kind of curious as to what I see, so.
So here's what you see. As Eridanus, like, does the defibrillation and his body goes up and then down, in that motion, you see a letter fall out of his pocket. The halfling's, Xanathar's pocket, and fall to the ground.
Can I take the letter?
Sure. Do you want to do it where the guards will see that you're doing it, or do you want to do a stealth check?
I do have sleight of hand, so
yeah,
I'm
you can do sleight of hand.
Shot.
Yeah, do a sleight of hand check.
9 plus 8 would be 17.
Okay.
Now you see me, now you don't.
So there are currently 5 guards there, and 2 of them see you dive for the letter.
Fuck.
And one of them goes, "Hey, that's evidence! Give it back!" And he rushes towards you.
Can I take a reaction? And either...
Sure.
But because he's standing around Xanathar and he's been thinking. And that, as he sees them trying to, like, move, he's going to shove.
Oh, that seems like a good idea.
So that way they can't, it's the heat of the moment. He's thinking, oh shit.
Yeah.
They're gonna... So, he's gonna shove to get them to either stop or get away.
So shove the letter or the guard?
Oh, no, I'm shoving the guard.
Okay. The guard that's going towards Solstice.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me...
He's been at
roll me a straight strength check.
For it.
That is a total of 16.
If it meets, it beats. Yeah, so you hit and you shove him out of the way. Well,
no
what's your strength modifier?
That'll be my strength is modifier is +3, so that's 15
Okay,
feet.
so he gets pushed 15 feet back.
I like the dwarf.
And so yeah, he gets pushed back and he goes, "Oi! We're the Royal Guard. What do you think you're doing?" Which, by the way, just to be clear, no ill will against British people. That was just the voice that I felt like doing, so no correlation between how I feel about British people, just so we're clear.
You started with the voice, you gotta keep on going.
I'm gonna keep going!
British,
you start the bit, you end the bit.
Anyways, so yeah, he's like, "Oi, what you doing?"
Like, I don't care who you are. This man died. This is important. We gotta go.
Wait, okay, so I have a spell called Calm Emotions. If it's just
perfect.
that one guard that noticed this and is upset, can I cast the spell on them?
You can. I will say that all the guards have kind of been alerted now, and they're all kind of...
So, focusing on fog, I very loudly shout among the fog for us to for the rest of the group to run away. I'm like, guys, get your shit, leave.
How many people are around?
How
wide is the street?
Just get her.
So I would say the street is probably about 4 carriages wide, and the crowd it's amassing quite a bit of crowd right now. There are only 5 guards there, but the crowd, there's probably a good like 30 people that have come out to see what's going on. And then Lex, did you want to cast a spell?
Yes.
Okay.
So as far as I'm concerned, I'm still like within the tavern.
Yep.
Which is fine because what's happening is in front. I like hold my hands together and I close my eyes and I say,
"There's peace beyond my windowsill. We wait for light come streaming in and our loved ones in slumber."
And instantly, like, you can see a spell take effect over all of these people in this 20-foot radius sphere, and everyone calms down. Every humanoid in the sphere calms down. It also says that everyone has to make a charisma saving throw.
Yep. That includes all players. So you guys, since you all are in
So
that
yeah,
sphere.
unfortunately, you guys are in the spell as well.
Hell yeah.
So everyone's calming the fuck out.
So you guys are fucking chill.
So he goes,
Which is good because I was like 2 legs into putting on the armor.
It's really
You're like,
funny.
wait for me, guys. Oh, wait, never mind. You guys got it.
That is a save. Okay, so 2 guards save. 3 of them are. One of them's just like, "Oi, you guys gotta. Whoo! You know, I don't feel quite as angry with y'all. Do you
I'm
that?
sorry. I'm so sorry I shoved you. It was my fault. Okay, I overreacted. The heat of the moment.
He looks just like, "Yo, bro, like I totally understand. Like things happen, man. There's life.
Bring it in.
Bring it in. And you guys embrace.
Yo, let's roll for the hug.
Roll for the. He got a 4.
Oh, you gotta be
One of them is
I'm
not
just,
using the hug.
I'm so calm, dude. Like it's not working.
You know what?
I know.
That
I'm a
makes
little
sense.
shorter. I'm a little shorter.
No.
It's okay. It's all right.
There's also just a passerby in the crowd, and they just start crying. And they're like, "Man, I love happy endings, man."
Oh, we're only gonna have one.
Okay, hold on. I need to know where are the 2 people who are still like not affected, and do they know about the stolen scroll?
So there's 3 people that aren't affected, and yes, they do know about the letter that fell out, and
Okay, and they're very angry?
well, they're confused now. They're like, "What are you guys doing? Like, we need to get to work."
We're already covered by a fog cloud, right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and shout, "It's probably best if we head inside the tavern and pretend like we were never here." And I'll cast Pass Without a Trace and cover my friends in the cloud in shadow. So not only are we obscured, I'm using my essence to make people not really perceive us.
Okay. And Pass Without a Trace, that's just it happens, right?
Yeah, Veil of Shadows and Silence radiates from you, masking you and your companions from detection. For the duration, each creature I choose within 30 feet of me, including me, has +10 to stealth.
Are we gonna yoink the dude's body? Or are we just gonna leave it there?
I was just going to leave that there because we're already
Well,
in trouble.
I had a pretty high perception check, and the only thing that I saw in the perception was the letter falling out of his pocket. So if it was any more importance...
Oh, no, something very important. So sorry. There is a dagger wound that you see on on his side. When the his coat falls away and you can see the wound when he raised up.
Okay.
But there is this black tendril spread, almost like a necrotic. So whatever hit him.
We probably shouldn't take it then, because it could be infectious. We don't know. We don't know enough about it. So if we did take it, then there's a possibility that it could get one of us sick or injured. Not to mention, a dead body's a lot heavier than a living body, and that causes
it's only
it to...
a halfling.
Were you gonna throw it on your goat?
Yeah.
You start to head back towards the tavern. As you start to head back towards the tavern, there is this huge gust of wind. that comes flying through and just pushes the fog away.
Whack.
And you guys are still, doing Pass Without a Trace. So if you could all make a stealth check real quick for me. But you get plus 10.
Yo, nat 20. Let's go.
There we go. Let's go.
I don't have to.
Yeah, you don't. You don't have to because you're still in the town.
We get plus 10 to that, right?
Actually,
plus 10.
It's 13. It's hard to see the numbers, but it was 13.
What was
I got
that?
29.
29, okay.
13 plus 10 plus 5?
Yeah.
13 plus 5, I think, is 28.
13
Okay.
plus
28,
5 is 18, and then
Plus
plus
10.
10 is 28. Yeah.
Ray, what'd you get?
Isn't only stealth? It's a D20 plus whatever your stealth is, right? I mean,
Plus your 10, and then
plus
10. Because he did Pass Without Trace on you, so you also have an additional 10.
Well, it's 21 plus 10, so.
Okay, yeah. So you guys are hidden. And so as the fog clears, thankfully you guys have the Pass Without Trace. You hide, you're out of there. You aren't seen by anyone because you guys got freaking high rolls. And as the fog kind of clears out, you see what blew the fog away. It was a giant hippogriff. And hopping down from this hippogriff is a tall half-orc dressed in full armor, plated armor. And he has a warhammer on the back of his on his back. And he starts walking towards the rest of the guards, and a big thump, thump, thump. And real quick, I'm just gonna assume you grabbed the letter, Solstice.
That was me.
Yeah, you
did
grab the letter. Okay, cool. So he's just like this thump, thump, and he gets in front of the body and he goes, when I sent you guys here, I thought you could handle a simple task, a simple investigation. And one of the guards come over and he's like, sir, we promised we did our best, but I don't know what happened. All of a sudden there was these weird people here and they tried to punch him when he was dead. I don't really understand what happened there. And then there was this evidence that they picked up, and he goes, what evidence? What people? What are you going on about? And there's this whole conversation happening, and he looks around, and then he looks back at the guards, and he's like, well, clearly they're not here. Go find them. And they all are like, yes, sir. And they rush, and they start to look around, and he looks at one of the guards and says, not you. Clean this up. And he begins to look around again, and he looks at the people, and he's like, good people of our village, it is okay. The Royal Guard is here to protect you. And I think that is where we're going to leave off tonight's session.
Don't be afraid of the dark. Be careful with stars. Not every light is gonna guide you, baby. Don't let them rain on your spark. Keep it close to your heart. All of the pressure's gonna drive you crazy. Close your eyes to the madness. In the morning it's all gonna vanish. Don't be afraid of the dark. Be careful with stars. Not every light is gonna guide you.
Hear ye, hear ye! Hey, we hope you enjoyed this episode of When the Stars Fell. Solstice is played by Molly, Eridanus is played by Joe, Wally is played by Braden, Herland is played by Alexis, Alison is played by Ray, I'm your narrator, Eddy Bigspitt, and our amazing Dungeon Master is Jacob. You can find all of our social links in the episode description. Stay tuned for future episodes coming the first and third Mondays of every month. If you enjoyed the episode, leave a like, comment, and a rating to let us know you enjoyed it. Thank you all for tuning in. Hey, you want to hear a story? Extra.
Don't be afraid of the dark. Be careful with stars. Not every light is gonna guide you.
I want to ask Vadir Jr. if he can help me stay awake or if he's getting sleepy too.
Can I roll the Battle of Perry?
So you ask it in your head. You're like, whoa, and Vadir is like, what is sleepy? And he doesn't seem to understand.
Yeah, that makes sense.